Okay, I think it's working. So everybody let me know if you could see that. Can y'all see that where it says Freedom-a-thon on your screen? Okay, good. All right, so now I'm gonna go to Facebook Live and we're gonna get started. Oh, and by the way, if you'll go to my personal page, it's Judge Rachel Bell. If you'll go on that page and share. And what I've been told is if you share it every 30 minutes, that'll get our algorithms up and it'll help people watch it. If everybody will unmute your phone as well. Or mute, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we are live. We are so excited to be here today. And I'm trying to ensure that we've got everything going the way that we want it to go. But this is our Juneteenth Freedom-a-thon. And we're so excited with the people that we have here helping us on today. Today, we are excited to be going live with our Freedom-a-thon. Again, this is the Freedom-a-thon. It's our virtual expungement clinic, and I'm ensuring that everything is going the way that it needs to. So please bear with us as we continue these efforts and working with you in our community. And so today, you know, Juneteenth is a day of celebration. It's called the Freedom Day. And it was celebrated on June 19th in honor of the last enslaved African Americans finally being freed in 1865, despite the Emancipation Proclamation that was issued 2 years prior on January 1st, 1863. Today we have a number of partners. We're so excited to have the continued partnership with Howard Gentry and the criminal court clerk, as well as the Village Church. Pastor Kelly X will be on with us later. We're also excited to have the Tennessee Alliance for Black Lawyers Association, the Legal Aid Society, as well as the Tennessee Bar Association for the Young Lawyers Division and the Diversity Committee as well, and the Nashville Bar Association and Napier-Luby Bar Association. So thank you for coming on today. We have three screens of lawyers, 60 lawyers it looks like, that is on our screen today, supporting us and working with us to help move the needle, I like to say, for marginalized people. So I want to give a greeting to all of our attorneys. If our attorneys will wave and say hi to everybody. Hello. And we're gonna go to, you see one screen here, we see another screen here, they're gonna wave. It's like the wave when we're at a basketball game. And then we'll show the next screen. So we're so excited to have everybody here today. And we're gonna bring in an individual, her name is Tremaine Artemis. And Tremaine Artemis is an individual who is a national recording artist. We're so excited that she was able to join us on today. And I'm bringing her on to our screen. We should see her shortly. And we are looking forward to her participating with us. And today she's gonna participate with us and show us and give us some insight on Juneteenth and our national anthem for the African Americans, which is called Lift Every Voice. And so Ms. Artemis, if you will bring your video on so that we can see you, then we'll bring you on to our screen. Again, Tremaine Artemis is someone that we are very proud of. She is somebody that has really, really worked hard in the community. She has a phenomenal voice, and she is one of our nation's hidden secrets. And so she has an awesome platform. We're excited today to bring her on to sing Lift Every Voice. And so Tremaine Artemis, we look forward to hearing from you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me, Jessica.
Okay, so we are looking forward to hearing from you today. If you will sing the Black National Anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Thank you, Tremaine. That was amazing. That was amazing. So thank you so much. Is there anything you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I just first again want to thank you so much for allowing me to share this opportunity. It's such a crucial time, especially with Juneteenth and just everything that's going on in the world. And having said that, I'm doing a concert coming up next Saturday on the 27th. It's going to be online, and it's a Music Heals concert, because that's definitely what we all need right now. And so it's going to be online at 3:00. Me and my band, Tremaine Artemis and the Improv 7 Jazz Band. So I hope that everybody will tune in and enjoy that and just have a time of healing and music. So.
Okay, and Tremaine, we look forward to supporting you and your efforts, but thank you today for singing the Black National Anthem. It's so fitting for us to do that on today. And so we will see you soon. Everybody look into Tremaine Artemis on her Facebook page, and she's doing a virtual concert, because we do need healing right now. The country does need healing. And so Tremaine, thank you for that. We're really
You're welcome.
All
thank
right.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now I want to move into and show a video for Juneteenth to kind of give us the history and the understanding behind Juneteenth and what the next steps should be. So if you will bear with me as I play that video. So that video is not going to play. So we'll come back to that later. But again, Juneteenth is Freedom Day, and is celebrated on June 19th in honor of the last enslaved African Americans being finally freed in 1865, despite the Emancipation Proclamation that was issued 2 years prior. And so we're so excited today, again, to have this Freedom-a-thon. And so we're going to bring in Pastor Kelly X. She is the pastor of Village Church. She has worked with us very, very hard in bringing justice to the community. And so we're looking forward to her remarks, and she's going to pray us in to this Juneteenth celebration on today. And so we'll bring her on as a panelist, and she will make remarks, and she also will give us a prayer on today. And so Pastor Kelly X, if you'll unmute yourself, and if you will also turn on your video, then we'll have you ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Judge Bell, for continuingly to work with the Village Church as we together strive for freedom for our people. And I'm also very thankful for your willingness and your continued work that you have done and using your power as judge to spread justice for all and being a willing participant in caring for those whom our society would consider the least of these. And so while we are not at the Village Church like we would normally be gathered in a large room with a bunch of lawyers and a bunch of job resources and all different things like that, it's still amazing to see that even when we cannot do it like we've always done it, God gives us inspiration to continue to do the work in new and inspiring ways. And for that reason, I invite us all to go to God in prayer. Let us pray. Oh, most gracious God, we say thank you. Thank you for who you are and what you have done. Thank you for the love, the power, and the grace that has filled this space. Oh God, we are thankful that even though we cannot gather in one space, that what we are doing is taking freedom out of a location and spreading it throughout this Davidson County area. Oh God, Lord, we say thank you for Judge Rachel Bell. We ask that you put blessings on her and her household and the work that she does. Lord, we ask that you be with every lawyer that is here and available to do this work for people. Lord, and as we do this, we are thankful for every person who has seen this as an opportunity to get more and more freedom in their lives. So Lord, we ask that because of this time together, because of the legal advice that they will receive, because of the expungements that will occur, because the paperwork will be pushed, that opportunities will become more available to them, that housing and employment, oh God, like that folks will be able to have more control over their lives, because we know that you love each and every one of us and see all of us as your children. So Lord, we ask that you continue to touch and bless and feel, and that we might feel freer and freer each and every day. Lord, we thank you for our ancestors that fought so dearly, so desperately, that this could be a country full of true justice for all. So we ask that you continue to touch and move as only you can. So Lord, let us be your hands, your feet, and your body in this world, spreading your love, your joy, and your justice. In your son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you, Pastor Kelly X. We really, really do appreciate you. So her congregation put together a video, a libation ceremony, ashe ceremony. And so we're going to show that. And then later in our segment today, we're going to show a video that they put together that we showed earlier this week or last week as a promotion. So we're going to show both of their videos, what it looks like when we actually do this freedom fair or freedom clinic at Village Church, normally in person. But yes, as she said, we're having to do it a little bit different today. Mm-hmm. But Pastor X, I don't know if you see all these attorneys on the screen.
I do. I am so thankful. I know you was nervous. You weren't sure how it was going to turn out. But what I know is that when we do what God calls us to do, it's going to work out. So I'm very, very excited. I know that today is going to be great.
Well, thank you. And the attorneys, I remember last year, I think at Village Church, we had an attorney for each participant. It seemed like there were so many attorneys there. And so God is moving on Juneteenth, in honor of Juneteenth and freedom. And I think the world is starting to understand more about just the basic human rights that all of us are afforded to. So thank you for being here today. We really appreciate you and your leadership and your congregation. So we're going to now show your video that you put together. So if you'll stay with us, if you have to go, we understand that too. But we're going to share the screen and we're going to go on and show your video now.
Awesome. Here at the Village, we have a tradition known as libations, a long ancient tradition in which we take a plant, which is a living thing, and we pour into it the one thing that all living beings need to live, and that is water. In this tradition, what we are doing is that we are thanking God for the gift of our ancestors who were able to bless us in our lives, some who we've known personally and those who we may not have known but have blessed us because of their lives. And so on today, on this Juneteenth celebration, we want to call on those who use their lives in order to give us freedom, who fought for us, who fought for those that were before us and provided strong shoulders for us to stand on. And so on today, we pour water, and after we pour water, we respond by saying Ashe, which means it is so, it is done. And so with that, I call on the name of Harriet Tubman, Ashe, Frederick Douglass, Ashe, Phyllis Wheatley, Ashe, Nat Turner, Ashe, B. Wells, Ashe, W.E.B. Du Bois, Ashe, Booker T. Washington, Ashe, Langston Hughes, Ashe, Zora Neale Hurston, Ashe, Ohio League of Shabazz, Malcolm X, Ashe, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Ashe, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ashe, Shirley Chisholm, Ashe, Emmett Till, Ashe, Nelson Mandela, Ashe, Muhammad Ali, Ashe, John Michelle Basquiat, Ashe, Maya Angelou, Ashe, Trayvon Martin, Ashe, Sandra Bland, Ashe, Mike Brown, Ashe, Aretha Franklin, Ashe, Toni Morrison, Ashe, Nina Simone, Ashe, Eric Gardner, Ashe, Jacquees Clemens, Ashe, Daniel Hembrick, Ashe, Queen Mother Brunson, Ashe, Ahmaud Arbery, Ashe, Breonna Taylor, Ashe, George Floyd, Ashe, 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 Ashe. It's done.
All right. So that was an awesome video. Y'all did an amazing job putting that together, and we're gonna show it again about the presentation today.
Awesome.
But, thank you for putting that together, and it is so. Today, we're gonna work to liberate and restore as many lives as we possibly can.
I'm so excited. This is amazing. Thank you for continuing to partner with us. Hopefully next year we'll be able to be face to face, but only God knows. But what I do know is justice will continue to roll down, and that your God's will be done. So I'm just grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Pastor X, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll do our part. We'll check in with you later, okay?
All righty. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. So guys, now we're going to turn over to the attorneys. The attorneys are now going to start calling their participants. You're going to see them with their phones or their headphones. They've got their docket. And so normally in court, we call the docket, we do the roll call. The attorneys got on at 9:30 this morning. We did our roll call. They've got their participants. They're going to be calling you. You're going to get a block number from them, and then they're going to let us know what the next steps are for you, and we'll talk to you more about the follow-up here shortly. I'm going to be bringing Howard Gentry on here in a minute. So we're going to continue the program. We'll check back in with the lawyers every 15 minutes or so, see how they're doing. They're going to let us know how the clinic is going, because if they get done and we're done meeting with all 100 people that registered, then the expungement clinic will be over. But we've put together a great presentation today. I'm going to try to see if I can get the Juneteenth video to show. If I can, that'll be great. If not, then we'll keep on moving forward. We've got a lot of things presented for you. Howard Gentry is in the gallery right now. We're going to bring him on shortly. But I'm going to see if I can get the Juneteenth video to show. But in the meantime, for our viewers, know that the attorneys are now going to start calling through their participants, and they're going to check in and let the court know how things are going. So attorneys, it is now your turn to get started.
Need a professional logo for your brand? I've used the new Wix logo maker to create one for my startup. I'll show you how. First, go to Wix Logo Maker.
Juneteenth is more than just another date on the calendar, especially to Black Americans. Juneteenth, 1865, or Juneteenth, represents something momentous.
What Juneteenth represents is sort of a period that's put in the end of the slavery.
That's Frank Smith. He's the founding director of the African American Civil War Memorial and Museum in Washington, D.C.
But this is a major, major thing on the part of the United States. For the first time now, it's abolishing slavery. 3.9 million Blacks are freed.
So how did Juneteenth come to be? Well, on January 1st, 1863, as America was in the midst of a civil war in which slavery was a major factor in the conflict, Juneteenth is more than just another date on the calendar, especially to Black Americans. Juneteenth, 1865, or Juneteenth, represents something momentous.
What Juneteenth represents is sort of a period that's put in the end of the slavery.
That's Frank Smith. He's the founding director of the African American Civil War Memorial and Museum in Washington, D.C.
But this is a major, major thing on the part of the United States. For the first time now, it's abolishing slavery. 3.9 million Blacks are freed.
So how did Juneteenth come to be? Well, on January 1st, 1863, as America was in the midst of a civil war in which slavery was a major factor in the conflict, then President Abraham Lincoln issued an executive order called the Emancipation Proclamation. The proclamation declared that
all persons held as slaves within said designated states and parts of states are henceforward and forever shall be free.
However, it had its limitations, including the fact that it only applied to states that had seceded, leaving slavery unchanged in border states. But the promise of freedom for Black slaves, it came with a price.
Came with a provision that you had to join the army and help the Union win the war. Otherwise, the thing would have had no effect at all.
That meant for the first time since 1792, Black soldiers could fight for the U.S. Army.
So they had to prove to themselves, but they also had to prove to the rest of America that freedom was important enough to them. So they were willing to risk their lives and to take up, as Denzel Washington says in the movie Glory, to catch a bullet just like everybody else for freedom.
The Civil War continued until April of 1865, when the South surrendered to the North. But during the war, and especially after the war, there were a lot of slaves that didn't know about the proclamation or their freedom. One of those places was in Texas. Then, on June 19th, 1865, more than a month after the Civil War ended, and 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, to inform Black slaves that
the people of Texas are informed that in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, that's the proclamation, all slaves are free. This involves absolute equality of personal rights.
And although slavery was officially abolished in the U.S. on December 6, 1865, June 19th, or Juneteenth, symbolizes the beginning of liberation.
My boss will. The Lawnmower 3.0. Now, everybody online say that this is the best thing to not nick or.
Okay, so that was powerful. So you see our attorneys that are talking to individuals. We're about to bring Howard Gentry on. And, you know, I'm so excited about the history of the Music City Community Court. We have been working so hard to, you know, really move the needle for marginalized people. And in doing so, you know, there's a number of things that have happened in the life of the court. And, you know, Howard Gentry is very much a part of us being able to do exactly what we are able to do here in this community. So I want to share you a little bit about the Music City Community Court and what's going on in our life. And then we'll bring on Howard to share a little bit about what he's been doing. And so the Music City Community Court started back in 2012. And we've been working to move the needle for marginalized people. Our vision is to create initiatives focused on preventative, restorative, and diversionary justice, centered around the concept that justice does not stop at the courthouse steps. And in the life of the court, we've done so much. In doing so, in 2012, we worked to found our future internship program. We adopted a highway. We started our expungement clinic resource fair. We partnered with the Tennessee Access to Justice and Faithless Justice Alliance. We started criminal justice forums. We've worked to get a grant with the United States Department of Justice. And then just last year, we were able to work with a partnership with the Magruder Center to create Bordeaux North Community Justice Center. And because of those efforts, we've helped over 100,000 people. We have gotten people in and out through our courts. We've up to last year, we had saved the city of Nashville over $120,000 just in community service. That's not counting how many people we have helped get removed from jail and be able to restore themselves. So we're so excited about the partnership we have with Howard. We've got our community service return docket, our pro se NEC docket, the expungement clinic, and resource fair that you're seeing today. And here's a picture of me and Howard at Cathedral Praise on the left, but on the right, we're at New Covenant Christian Church, which will be our next expungement clinic in August. But this is what it looks like when we're in person, and COVID-19 hopefully will be removed next year when we're able to do this. But Howard Gentry and I, the partnership, this is a picture of us at Village Church several years ago when we were working, getting all of this started and bringing NEC dockets at the courthouse at the Justice Birch building at 1:30 and also Saturdays at 9:30 in the morning. And so you see, it takes a lot of people to put these clinics on. So this is a picture of attorneys and vendors and individuals that are working with us to move the needle for marginalized people. So you see a picture of Howard and I right there in the middle. This is a picture of us at Cathedral Praise and also at Nehemiah Baptist Church. This is another picture of Nehemiah Baptist Church. Andrew Jackson will be there this fall or will be there virtually. And so I'm really just so appreciative to all the work that Howard and his team have done. And since we've partnered, you'll see that the expungement numbers went in 2011 to 13,000 a year to the numbers in 2018 going up to 34,000. And so we have put ourselves to work, but I know that Howard's office and his team does a great job. And you'll see the court costs, fines, and fees and how they've changed over the years as well from 2012 to 2019. So people have a right to have their federal rights restored. And so the same NEC docket that we take care of with the public defender's office, if somebody is able to be represented by the public defender's office, then they're indigent. And so they also have an opportunity to be on the NEC docket. And you'll see with Howard's office, they've helped release driver's license restrictions so that people can get their rights restored and just moving the needle and helping people so much. And so, you know, Howard and his team have worked so hard And so it's exciting to see that he has put a team of people together, going from the history, as you see, coming back to the future, his criminal court compliance division, and their efforts and what they put together there. So you see a team of his people sitting and waiting on people to give them their information to see if they, in fact, can be declared indigent, so that they can go on and get their court cost fines and fees waived and then get their record expunged. And so I'm very thankful to have the partnership with Howard Gentry. And so without further ado, I'm gonna go back into the gallery and bring Howard on so that we can now talk and have him share. So let me get to the gallery view. And Howard, are you in the queue?
I am.
All right.
I see you, I see me.
Okay.
So at least I know that much. I don't, I'm in the gallery. I see everybody now.
Yes.
Well, first I wanted, what's that?
Say yes, we have a lot of lawyers. We have over 40 lawyers here today with us working.
Right. Well, first I want to say hello to everybody. My voice might be a little weak and might look a little unshaven today. Kind of been through it. I have tested positive with coronavirus, so it's been a tough few days. But anyway, nothing was going to cause me to miss this. It's an important time, even though we have to do it by Zoom. Every time we have one of these sessions, it's important because somebody's life gets changed as a result of it. And I'd just like to thank Rachel and all the attorneys and everybody who is volunteering for their commitment to you, the people who deserve it. You all, every one of you who are going to be the recipients of our help today deserve it. We take this so seriously. My office is open from 8 to 4:30 every day, and Monday through Friday. And most of the things that are taking place right now can happen at our office. Of course, you don't get to have a judge, and that's the special part of what's going on right now, or a team of lawyers. But we're able to process a lot of what goes on here within our office. And I'd like to thank my team, like to thank Andy Sullivan for doing our part to help with this event today. As I stated a few minutes ago, what we're doing right now is your constitutional rights. We're just exercising it from somewhere other than the courthouse. We don't have to wait for you to find out about it or you to assume that you know about it. There's nothing wrong with bringing government to the people. Matter of fact, we should do that more often. And so I'm just excited to be a part of bringing government to you, to be able to, at this time of Juneteenth, to be able to free you from the weight and the strain of the criminal justice system. So I would like to wish everyone the best. And I'm going to go back. This is probably off script now, but I'm sitting here sweating and kind of struggling. And I want y'all to know, if you haven't seen COVID virus up close, then you're seeing it right now. It is, it's real. It's real. And it's everything people say it is. And unfortunately, I see too many people, and especially people that look like me, who are not following social distancing. And I am not going to limit it to one group of people. It's happening, especially with young people. And I'll tell you, our numbers are spiking. Our deaths are still happening almost on a daily basis. And even somebody like me who is the COVID virus freak, I wear masks, I don't shake hands, it still was able to infect me and my daughter, my 20-year-old daughter. So this thing is real. So I just want to say to you that take this COVID virus serious, because it's just a shame if we're able to get the weight of the criminal justice system off you today, and then you have to have the weight of debilitating virus on you the next day. It just doesn't make sense. So this is something you have control over. You have control over how close you get to somebody. You have control over wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. Now, some of you might not be able to get a mask. Well, put a shirt over it or something over your face, and really practice as much social distancing as you can. Wash your hands and try to stay as safe and as healthy as you can. One day we'll be beyond this, but we're nowhere close to it right now. And I will tell you that the scariest thing about this is they really don't know what to do about it. So you just sit at home and you hurt and you kind of suffer through it, and you just hope to get better. You can take Tylenol and other cold medications, but there's no shot, there's no pill, there's nothing that they can give you to cure this thing. So just want to share that with you. That's not a part of the criminal justice system, but I think that everybody within ear sight of what I'm saying right now can benefit from what I'm telling you. So anyway, hope everybody has a great experience through this. And again, thank you to all who are volunteering, who are participating, and especially those of you who care enough about your future to come and get this taken care of. So, all right, hope everything goes well today for everybody.
Well, thank you, Howard. We really appreciate you being on today. And we know that this time for you with your recent diagnosis with COVID is definitely not something any of us were happy to hear about. And, you know, you're very, very dear to me. And, you know, I love you to death, and I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. My family's praying for you. I believe all of us here in Nashville really appreciate your leadership and what you're doing. So please do everything you're supposed to do. Get your rest. Thank you for being on today. But I want you to rest, and I want you not to talk, and I want you just to be weighted on hand and foot and read a book or just relax, get some rest. And we really appreciate you being on here today. And I would agree with you that this is serious and it doesn't discriminate. And it just, I know that you're going to get through this. And so we know that victory is on your side.
Yep.
But I'm glad that you were able to share and let us know, you know, how you're feeling and what's going on. So if you will close us out, then we'll let you close us out with this part, and then we'll bring on some other individuals. If you have any other remarks you'd like to share, I'd be happy to hear it.
No, again, just thank you, Judge Bell, for taking this effort to the next level. I can't say to the highest level, because I got a feeling that every time you do something, it's going to be at another level. So thanks for taking it to the level it is. We enjoy. We're just happy to be a part of it and to do all that we can. And let's keep on bringing justice to the people because the people deserve it. I would have shaved for you today. I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't feel like that. It takes too much energy right now. So I'm gonna save the energy for something else. I don't know what, but maybe walk into the living room. All right, but anyway, thank you, and good luck to everybody.
All right, thank you, Howard. Thank you. So guys, we see that we have so many attorneys. If you'll look on your screen, there are so many people that are helping. The attorneys are checking in and letting us know the people that they're able to talk to on today. And so we're so excited about the opportunity that we have here today with our team. And I've asked my team to rename themselves and put MCC and then what their role is with the court. So Krista and Tamara, if you'll do that as you come on into the screen, they're helping us navigate all of the expungement clinic on today and reassigning attorneys that need to be assigned to participants. So we're real thankful for having y'all on today. We have a special guest today, and his name is Robert Sherrill. And we are so excited to have him working with us on today. And he is an author. He's an entrepreneur. He's a speaker. He's a youth advocate. He has a great story to tell. Has some hard knocks. He went through some tumultuous times in his life, but he is the dream. He's the restoration. And so when you see somebody go through the system and come out better, this is exactly what it looks like. He's a dear friend of mine. I really appreciate his leadership and what he's doing to help our community. He has a book. He is a national bestseller on Amazon, Journey Back to Now. Our book that we're using for our care court for ages 18 to 30 is one of Robert Sherrill's books as well. He has some other books that are coming out this summer, but I'm so excited about his partnership that he has with the Impact Youth Outreach. He really, really is trying to move the needle and restore people from all walks of life. And I think that's exactly what it's supposed to look like. When you are able to move the needle for yourself, then you've got to go back and I call it swim upstream and help the community. And you can see that he is doing that left and right. He supported the Music City Community Court. He's giving funds to the Music City Community Court as well to help us be successful. He even donated some books to us. So we really appreciate Robert and all the work that he is doing to help us be successful as well as with himself. And so one quote that I saw that I was really moved by was he said, even on the first day of a prisoner's sentence, we should be planning immediately for the day of release. And so he's got some other platforms and some other collateral, some other documents and books that he's been working on, Transition Pitfalls and Quid Pro Quo. So I'm gonna let him speak about that, but he's got a video that I wanna share that I think is so amazing and awesome that he put together that kind of gives you a little bit of more insight about his life.
First off, I wanna apologize. Every time I made my mama cry, leaving these traumatized. All the bad names I called you when you blinked and your eye been died. Bless me over and over again. The more you bless me, the more I was seen. Guess I was moving too fast to the beat. Got time to put my dick in the pen. Now I'm looking at the past, thinking about the future. Glad I got another chance. See your feelings mutual. Protect me in the streets when the times got crucial. When the song out, you made me blind to the shooters. And now I'm all alone and I'm calling on you daily. Asking for forgiveness and I'm asking you to save me. Protect my T-lady. Don't stress my old lady. Yo, and I know how much I love myself, baby.
Okay, so what we're going to do is bring Mr. Sherrill on. I'm going to ask him to unmute himself as well. But he has really has a great story, and he is doing his part. And I'm really glad that when I asked him to get on with us, if he would be able to share, a little bit about his story. And so I really appreciate him being with us today. And we're going to spotlight his video and unmute him. But Robert Sherrill, thank you for being with us today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I look a little, but I'm here.
I think your feed may be going in and out. So let's see. All right, Robert, thank you for being here today. And you look great. No, you and Harris, I did shave and this and that, but you look good. So share with us about what's going on in your life and the things that you're doing to help people restore themselves.
So reentry is very important. Like I said, by me being a returning citizen, I have firsthand knowledge of what the criminal justice system does to us as individuals. And I just felt that I was tasked by God with the weight of being a voice for the voiceless. And so upon my release, I made it my mission to give back in ways that I could, and that via hiring ex-felons, helping the youth, using my experiences and trying to touch the lives of others. And so that's what I do every day. And so, of course, now I'm running Impact Youth Outreach. We're geared toward inner city at-risk youth. And we have class every Saturday. I feed the kids, I bring them in. We teach entrepreneurship, conflict resolution, anger management, everything, you know, and it's a safe space for them to be able to communicate their feelings and emotions. And I just try to be a shining example to those kids. Also, I formed Imperial Cares, which is where I hire ex-felons and give them opportunities. Am I here? Okay. So I hire ex-felons and give them opportunities to work and to find gainful employment, because I know how hard it is to try and get a job once released. You know, once you release, a lot of people don't want to hire felons, and it's a hard transition. And so that's one of the ways I give back to those that are those returning citizens that's coming back to our communities. I'm the CEO and president of Imperial Cleaning Systems. I also own iStudio Nashville. I'm a speaker. I'm an author. And I just thank God just put me in position across the board to be able to be an example, you know. And I just try to use my platform to speak for so many people who can't speak for themselves. So I'm all about voter restoration. I'm all about changing the laws that are currently in place right now. You know, it's hard for felons to vote. It's hard for us to find housing. It's just so many strikes against us, and it's hard to ask a returning citizen not to recidivate when you don't give them the equitable opportunity to be successful. And that is what I'm championing. I'm championing that aspect of it, because once you get out, everybody wants saying, oh, you know, you can pick the pieces of your life up and you can go on to be successful. But in all actuality, the laws and institutions are not set up for us to be, are not conducive for us to be successful once released. And so, yeah, that's me. That's what I'm doing. And I just want to continue to move the needle forward.
Robert, we're so thankful to have you on today. I think your story is just so amazing, because you've done so much of the work to help, help restore your life. But you are the past or the ancestor. If you would say an ancestor's dream, I mean, you have your own business and you were able to come back and hire people that went through the same track of life that you've been through. And so, Robert, my hat goes off to you and all of what you're doing. I'm thankful for your partnership, thankful for what you're doing for these kids, what you're doing with your company, what you're doing to move the needle for marginalized people. And I just think it's so awesome and so amazing to have your partnership and what you're doing for our community. If there's anything else you'd like to share, we would love to hear it.
So I'm working on something real big right now. It's a reentry curriculum. It's coming soon. I'm in partnership with some good people. Transition Pathways is what it's called. And it's going to be revolutionary. It's going to literally change the game as it pertains to reentry. We're going to be covering things from expungement, the expungement that we can do on our own outside of what you do, just walking them through the process. And that's the thing. We have all this information, but it's like hidden and buried. And that's why transition pitfalls, the unspoken truth about your release, because people don't speak about this. I sit on all these panels and I talk to all these criminal justice people, all these heads that are over these institutions, and they set up and paint this glamorous picture like reentry is just so easy. But at the end of the day, they're lying to the people. They're lying to their supporters and their donors. It is hard. The system is pinned against you. So I just think it's important for us to continue to shed light on the truths of release, and also point people in the right direction. Like I really want to verbatim, I literally want to walk people through the process of getting a pardon, through the process of starting a business, through the process of getting your credit back up, through the process of buying a house. Like every area of reentry I'm covering, because God sent me through I didn't skip a beat. I hit every corner as it pertains to reentry. From build my credit back up, to buy my car, to get my license, to get my rights restored, to getting my record expunged, to getting a governor's pardon. Right now, I'm seeking my federal pardon from the president. I will be the first person in history to get both a state and federal pardon. So I just feel like God has put me on this path, and it's important that I use it. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to use my experiences to help the lives of others. So just follow me. Follow me, Robert C. Sherrill, on Instagram. RobertCSherrill.com is my website. I would love to work with any of the attorneys on here. And if anybody needs anything from me, I'm here. Like I said, I look like these people. I'm 6 years out of the penitentiary. I did 5 years in federal penitentiary. I've been out 6, going on almost 7 years. And what I've done in 7 years is nothing short of a blessing. And so I'm just using my platform, using my experiences to help the lives of others. So if ever I can be of any assistance, feel free to reach out.
Well, Robert, we really appreciate you and thank you for being here. Guys, he's the real deal, real talk. I mean, he's gone through every piece of restoring his life. And so I'm thankful for our partnership. I'm thankful for his support, and I support him as well. And so there's some things that we want to continue to collaborate on. I love partnering with people that are hungry to help people. And Robert Sherrill, for real, I'll speak it, I'll say it. I have seen him do the work, I've seen him care, and I've seen him move the needle. So thank you for doing your part. And I believe that, you know, all of our experiences are to show us how to help somebody else. So my hat goes off to you. Thank you, and don't get weary in well doing. As they say, don't get weary in well doing.
Thank you. Just keep me in your prayers.
Oh, yeah. Keep us in your prayers too. But thank you, Robert. I really appreciate you being on today.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. So guys, we're so excited. You see all the attorneys that we have on today. They are calling our participants. They're checking in. They're letting us know how things are going. We've got people from all across the state of Tennessee that are watching us today, so that maybe their clerk's office and maybe there's another judge out there that wants to do an expungement clinic like this. And so I'm just so happy that this has come together. We've got another individual on today that we're excited about bringing on. His name is THON Hunter. He is, I would like to call him the Reverend Dr. THON Hunter. And so we are gonna give you a little bit of information about who he is. And he is a principal at Kirby High School in Memphis, Tennessee, Shelby County. He also is a senior pastor for Georgia Avenue Baptist Church. And he's gonna give us some of his talents. I know he is able to play the piano and play the saxophone, and the brother is bad. He can sing too. But we're so excited that he's here today. So we wanted to, you know, keep it light a little bit, you know, not continue to just have speakers on. I know that this is a hard time in our lives right now, but we're really, really, really looking forward to bringing you some speakers and to bringing on some entertainment. So THON Hunter is in the queue, and we're gonna bring him on and promote him to panelists. And I asked him to share whatever it was that he wanted to share on today. And so THON, we're gonna bring you on. If you will let us see your video, we will bring you on to the clinic and get you ready to go. And so I think we're still bringing him on to the screen. And as soon as we have THON with us, we will so THON, if you'll bring on your camera, that'll be helpful for us so we can see you on the screen as well. So we're gonna try him one more time to promote him to panelists, to bring him onto the screen. And so he's coming on right now. And so we're excited about that. Technology sometimes gets a little slow, so y'all just bear with us. I know that we've promoted him to panelists, so he should be with us shortly. But in the meantime, we're real excited again to have so many lawyers working with us on today and calling through our participants. We're going to hear from our lawyers here shortly. And so as soon as we hear from our lawyers, as soon as we get Stevon Hunter on here, we will be hearing from our lawyers to tell us how the clinic is going. You can hear that see that they're talking to their participants, and we're still trying to bring Stevon on as a panelist. So I'm trying to see what we need to do. I see he's on here now, and so we're going to ask him to start his video. Oh, he's on here now. So
all right,
let's see. Thank you, Stevon.
All right. Thought we were gonna have a problem there. I guess we got it worked out.
Yes, it looks like we did.
You kept disconnecting me every time I every time you tried to bring me on, but it's all good.
All right. Well, thank you, Stevon. We really appreciate you being here today, and thank you for coming on to share some of your musical talents. If there's anything you want to share, I'm happy to hear that too. But if you want to go right into and let God use you, then that's fine too.
I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. You're doing phenomenal, tremendous work, helping people. This is great. This is great work. This is exciting work, and I think it's so timely that you're involved in what you're involved in. But I'm going to do one song. Actually, I've been trying to figure out which song to do, but I thought I found one that would be fitting for the moment, and made famous by Sam Cooke. Change Gonna Come.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you again. Judge Bell, I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity to take part in this. That's all I have. And again, thank you. I'll continue to watch and enjoy the dialogue.
That was awesome, Stevon. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. So thank you for coming on today. It means so much to me. And, you know, putting this together, sometimes it's not easy, but when you have good friends, even all across the state, then it works out. So thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day. And yes, a change is gonna come.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stevon.
You're welcome. Take care.
Thank you. So we're on right now, and a lot of you are probably just now looking and viewing, and we want to let you know that all the people on the screen right now are attorneys. These attorneys are calling through our participants that registered. Each attorney has 2 or 3 people that they need to call, and they are calling through our participants. They're checking in with the court and letting us know what it is that they need to get their lives restored, what it is that they want to get their record expunged. But right now, I'd like to bring on attorney LaTanya Todd. She's going to share with us how the day is going so far with her clients and how this expungement clinic, you know, it's kind of important that the attorneys have opportunities to have pro bono hours. So attorney LaTanya Todd, thank you for participating today in honor of Juneteenth, and thank you for being one of our pro bono volunteer attorneys.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. So far, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, y'all know I'm technology challenged. It's been an interesting morning. I've had an opportunity to talk to 2 clients so far. I called one of my clients and was not able to reach him, so I will circle back to him. One of the things I wanted to share is that I think that the clinic has really been impactful. I was just speaking to a woman from Ripley. Unfortunately, I was not able to assist her since her issues don't reside in Davidson County, but I did give her did some research with her and was able to give her some resources that should be able to help her. I noticed that she's pretty close to Memphis. I referred her to the Memphis Legal Aid, and I think maybe they'll be able to assist her, and just did some online research with her and was able to discuss some family law issues with her. But I just think it's, you know, even though I wasn't able to give her the type of assistance that I would have liked to, it just kind of really shows you the reach of what the clinic is doing, if it's reaching all the way to Ripley, Tennessee.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I spoke to another lady, and I really think that we'll be able to do some good things with her and putting her in the pipeline for some assistance with employment and with housing. And I think that's one of the things that's so dynamic about this clinic, is that, you know, it's looking at the whole person and hoping to be able to provide services for the whole person. This is like a starting point with the legal issues, but then beyond the legal issues, what do you do to continue to assist people? So I'm really excited. I think we'll be able to do a lot of good work with her.
Well, Attorney Todd, thank you for sharing that information with us. You know, this work can't be done without the attorneys. As a lawyer, I was so excited, you know, I was able to do legal clinics and be able to participate like the lawyers. When I became a judge, the judicial canons wouldn't allow. So I was like, what can I do? How can we bring this back to the table? And so when, you know, working with Howard, we were able to create this docket. And so the attorneys, thank you for sharing the information that you were able to do. And it's exciting that when you are doing something and helping, that because of the pro bono attorneys, because of Howard Gentry, because of what we're doing, that it is reaching all across the state of Tennessee. And, you know, our model, we're always working the kinks out and trying to figure things out, but it cannot be done without the attorneys. So thank you for volunteering today. Thank you all the attorneys for volunteering today. And I would like to keep on sharing with the audience that we've got 2 screens of attorneys here today. And, you know, they're working hard, they're on the phone, they're participating, and they're doing their part. And I really appreciate it. We're doing our part, staying apart and still helping people, even amid COVID-19. So thank you, Attorney Todd. If there's anything else you'd like to share, I would love to bring you back on to do so.
Well, you know, I'm just thankful to be a part of this. I think, you know, we all have a responsibility to each other as human beings. You know, we're all just human. And, you know, it's up to us to stand up and help each other. And so I think that this clinic is just dynamic. I've participated in clinics over my 15 years of practice, but this clinic is so unique just the Music City Clinic is so unique, and being able to touch so many areas of people's lives. Because again, like I said, the legal issues are the starting point. Sometimes it's the life issues that create the legal issues. So if we don't address the life issues, we're going to keep revisiting the same issues with people. So I'm just thankful to be a part of something that looks at the whole person and tries to help and assist the whole person.
Yeah, you're right. And my staff and my team, they're so helpful, because this can't be done alone. And so thank you, Attorney Todd. We're going to let you get back and call your participants.
Right.
There's some other people that you need to get in touch with. But thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to put my staff on the spot. I know that they don't know that I'm going to put them on the spot, but I'm going to put them on the spot and let them share what's going on with them. So Tamara Givens, we're going to put you on the spot. I want you to tell us all the hard work that you have to do to help this clinic be successful. So she is our outreach coordinator. She's also my judicial court officer. But when I hire people, I tell them, hey, when we get done with court, you're going to turn into a Music City Community Court employee. So she's been very vital to the success of our court. And so Ms. Givens, a judicial court officer to me personally, but then for the Music City Community Court, she's our outreach coordinator. So is there anything you'd like to share about how the day's going so far? And I know you've been working hard the last few weeks trying to help us put this together. But please, I would like to turn it over to you to let you share how things are going today.
Good evening, Judge. Good morning, rather. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
Okay, good morning, everyone. First of all, I just want to say that I really am just grateful to have the opportunity to be a participant and a servant in this space. This is very important and personal to me, to always do what we can to help those that are less fortunate than ourselves, or those that are going through challenges and struggles of trying to get re-established in their lives. And so I think if I had to share anything, I would kind of want to share how each of us work strategically in our individual places to ensure that this comes together seamlessly. And there's a lot of great work that goes on behind the scenes. And so as the outreach coordinator, as Judge Bell mentioned, when we're in court, I am actually her court officer. But in the space of the outreach coordinator, one of the things that I've been blessed to do really well is to have a long reach of building relationships in the community with different agencies. And so when I first came aboard, or prior to coming aboard, one of the things that I recognized for individuals that had criminal backgrounds is that they were always challenged in being able to move forward in their individual lives as it relates to housing, employment, transportation, being able to go back to school. There were just so many barriers that were there. And so I wanted to be a conduit to building relationships with other agencies that could maybe hopefully bring some positive transformation in those areas. So building those relationships with the community partners and asking them to serve as vendors when we have the expungement clinics. But on the opposite side of that is helping Judge Bell with the communication piece of getting the information out to the community of the event dates, how to get registered. Once they get registered, it's my responsibility to pull all of those registrations. After pulling the registrations, we also then have to compile a spreadsheet that help us to understand what their needs are, how many participants we have for that clinic. I also have to develop the surveys that we send out to the participants so that we can get great feedback from them, as well as surveys that go to our vendors, because we need to have feedback from the vendors. You know, what were some of the great experiences that they had? What were some of the conversations that they had about additional needs that a participant may have? And so then we begin to develop or try to figure out how do we respond to some of those needs going forward. The other part of that is having the communication with the attorneys and the participants to ensure that everybody is there in place on the day of the event. So sending out those email confirmations to the attorneys and the participants, reminding them of the scheduled date and the time and the locations. And in this space, because it's a virtual environment, that was a whole nother piece for us, being able to follow up with attorneys to ensure if anybody was not going to be there on this particular day, because then that meant we had to reassign a participant to another attorney. So it's a lot of hard work, but it's very rewarding. I really enjoy what I do, and more importantly, I enjoy working with this dynamic team. I often say we are many members, but we're rightly fitted together to do a great work and to move us forward. So again, thank you, Judge Bell. Thank you for the opportunity to allow me to share. Thank you, attorneys, and to our vendors. We definitely could not do this without you guys. You all are actually the appendage to this court that really helped to change the lives of these participants. So thank you all, and thank you again.
All right, thank you, Tamara Givens. I really appreciate her. She came from us from, I stole her from the expungement clinics a couple years ago. I was like, hey, Tamara, I got a position available. Are you willing to come on board? And so her boss even referred her and said, yes, please. She would be very good as an addition to your court. So thank you. Really do appreciate you. So I'm going to talk to my other team members here shortly, but I want to show a little bit about the work of our court so that you can kind of have some more insight. If you've been watching our videos this week, we showed how this all kind of got birthed. Where did this start? This started at New Covenant Christian Church with my pastor, Reverend Dr. Judy Cummins. I've been going to that church my whole life. My grandparents went there, my parents went there. But it's a very important piece to showing how this works. Again, we'll be at New Covenant in August. We may do it just like this, or we may hopefully maybe be in person. But I want to show you a video, and then we're going to bring on another special guest. We've got Charlene Oliver, who is standing in the gallery with the Equity Alliance, and she's part of our follow-up that we'll be talking about right after this video. So New Covenant Christian Church, formerly known as Gately Christian Church, was a church that I grew up in, and I learned all about justice. I learned about community justice and making sure that you always assist and help people the best you can from all walks of life. So when I became a lawyer, I learned more about community justice and what I should do, bringing things back to the community. And so I started everything here at New Covenant Christian Church. My first legal clinic, free legal clinic, was here. The first expungement clinic was here. Everything that I've learned about being a person to give back to other people, I learned right here in New Covenant. And I'm a young leader in the city, and I was elected. I was running when I was 33, became a judge at 34. It's just, one of the youngest elected judges in the city. It's not easy to learn what you're doing at that age, but when you have good wisdom and good support, things kind of flow and they work. So much so that I think this expungement clinic and what we're doing here is one of the best ones we do every year. And so I'm just really, really excited, like I said, to have his support and all of what he's doing.
Ever since Judge Bell became General Sessions Judge, we have developed a relationship, both as criminal court clerk and her being a judge, of course.
that's done by virtue of our jobs, but our partnership has really come as a result of our passions, our efforts to free people of the burden of the criminal justice system after they have already had their experience. And one way that we came together initially was with expungements, because expungements, of course, are removal of records, and people who come through the system don't all understand that the majority of the cases that come before a judge can be expunged.
Very elated what Judge Bell is doing here in our community. She has expanded, there's growth involved. We're now getting knowledgeable things that we need to get our license expunged, records expunged, get reinstated, get fines omitted, things, etc. of that matter. Really appreciate her reaching out to the community and doing what she is doing for us.
You know, the community court model that is really happening around the country is really trying to find ways to have alternatives to incarceration. Yes, you know, there are consequences to crime, there are consequences to your actions. However, we need to have a more holistic approach where we actually give people the access to the resources that they may need. The Mid-City Community Court was started in 2012, and we've helped a lot of people since that time.
I'm not caught a charge and my driver's license was suspended. So for the past 6-7 years, I haven't been able to get a driver's license because of my court cost fees. And now that we're able to get them waived, I got them waived. And this will help me start to move around and get a better job out here.
Judge Bell, waived my court costs and fines, and just feel like a big weight lifted off my shoulders. Like I could get my life back. Like I could start new, afresh. And I just want to thank the Justice Department for doing this, like, you know, and for choosing Nashville as a good spot to do it.
You are our guest, and we're here to serve you. We have a wonderful job fair out there with employers who are ready to hire you. We have a lot of activities out on the parking lot. We have a concert with entertainment all day long. But you have to be able to help yourself, right? So you've done the first part. You went online and you registered for this court, and you did it before the deadline. So praise God for that. And you got here early. A lot of you got here 8 o'clock this morning.
If you ever just think that this could be potentially available for you to get your record, you know, expunged or, you know, some charges waived off for fees, man. I mean, it's a nice event. We got hot dogs, all kinds of, you know, popsicles and stuff, man. It's just a good community, you know, good thing for the community to have and stuff. So, like I said, I just want to say thank you again because, you know, it helped me out.
Just not long ago, I heard about this court date, you know, that I could come to court on Saturday, that they had a program to help work on getting some of these fines reduced. You know, I have my license next week, this thing says. I found out about it by the man, I don't know what his name is, but he's the man in the glasses at that desk right over there. He's a court clerk. He was the one that informed me about it, and I've got to go up there and give him a big thanks because he's really made my life a whole lot easier. And actually, my wife she's involved in recovery in this community, and she was here with me today, and she was literally in tears up there. It's just a pretty good thing. God moves mountains, and this is one of them.
All right, so we see that the attorneys are continuing to work. We've got so many people that are online working with our attorneys today, and we're so excited to have them on today working with us. And so this is exciting. So many people are being restored today. The attorneys are working really, really hard. So you see all these people on here. These are attorneys that are working, calling their participants. So this idea came to me when I was a child. There were these telethons. And when I was first diagnosed diabetic, I was working with the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. And with working with the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, we had a telethon back then for people to donate money. And I was like, hey, you know, we could probably do something very similar, just like this for our expungement clinic. So we talked about it, we collaborated with it, and Howard Gentry said, let's go, let's try it. The attorneys, I talked to the respective Bar Association presidents all across the state of Tennessee. And so we want to thank them for their partnership. We've got the Tennessee Bar Association that's on board. With the Tennessee Bar Association, it's the Young Lawyers Division. We're really thankful for them and the Diversity Committee. We've got the Tennessee Alliance for Black Lawyers. We're really appreciative and thankful for them. We've got the Nashville Bar Association. We're thankful for them. The Napier-Luby Bar Association, we're thankful for them. The Legal Aid Society, we're thankful for them. And the Tennessee Bar Association Young Lawyers Division, we're thankful for them. So we couldn't do this without their partnership and without their help. But one thing I'm excited about is that we are working to bring to you the next piece to this clinic, which is called the follow-up and restoration of rights. And that is going to be next Saturday, June 27th, 2020 at 10 o'clock. And we will be sharing those details this week. So I know that it sounds like we're busy, but we are busy working to get people restored and moving people to help us move the needle for marginalized people. So we've got Charlene, who will be coming on board, Charlene Oliver with the Equity Alliance, who will be coming on board with us here shortly. She is the co-founder and co-executive director of the Equity Alliance. And so I talked to her in the last couple of weeks and some team members that she's working with to put some things together. And so we're so excited about the next steps called the follow-up. So you're gonna continue to hear that, the follow-up. Part of the follow-up is bringing on, like I said, the Equity Alliance. And the Equity Alliance, they're building independent Black political power since 2016, and they're mobilizing individuals to give us, action to keep our government honest and restoring votes, restoring the right to vote, because voting is very important. If you didn't elect me and you didn't elect Howard, not that this probably wouldn't have happened, because I believe that God would have found a vessel to do it, but we are elected officials that were used in order to bring this to the forefront and to the community. And so I'm very excited to have Charlene here today. I'm going to promote her now as a panelist. She'll be coming on here shortly. And then we've got another individual after she gets done speaking who will be bringing us some information. So let me see if Charlene is here. We're going to ask her to start her video so we can see her. We're going to unmute her as well. So it looks like she's over here. So Charlene, we're going to unmute you as well, asking you to unmute yourself, and then we're going to spotlight you.
Okay.
All right, Charlene, welcome.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me, Judge Bill. This is such a wonderful, wonderful event that you are doing, and you're pulling it off virtually. I know this is usually an in-person event, but of course, we've got a pandemic out here that's having us to shift the way we do things, but that's not going to stop us. So I'm just glad to be a part of this event, and thank you.
No, thank you for coming on today. We really appreciate you being with us. We really appreciate you being with us today. I know that you've got a lot going on. So tell us what's going on in the life of Equity Alliance and the work that y'all are doing.
Oh my gosh, we have so much going on right now. It's not even funny. So we were founded in November 2016, a week after the presidential election, because we were fed up with the way this country was going and the way that people do business as usual politics in our state. And we saw a need to engage voters in a unique and culturally relevant way, in the way that people feel heard and feel seen. And so the Equity Alliance is all about using our voting power as a weapon in the fight for social and economic justice. And that looks a number of different ways, but we are all about building independent Black political power so that we can secure not only political power, but having life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in this country that we've always been striving for since we've been free, since we were emancipated back in 1865. That's what we're celebrating this weekend, is Juneteenth. So we are still on that fight for freedom, and we are all about voting rights, making sure that people have access to the voting booth. We work to remove those barriers that people have. One of those huge barriers in our community is folks who have a felony on their record and cannot vote. And so just because you cannot vote doesn't mean you cannot be a part of the political process. But we want you to, but we are here to make sure that you can do that. We are working in coalition with some groups to push legislation to get fines and fees removed from the voting process, and so that people can be re-enfranchised in this state. We've been doing that for 2 years. Haven't had success yet, but we've had progress. We've had legislators that have come around to the idea that formerly incarcerated folks should have their voting rights. And some of the things that you should know when it comes to restoring voting rights in Tennessee, it's unfortunate we are the only state in the country, the only state that ties child support to your suffrage rights. So what that means is you could, you know, if you owe child support, you're paying child support, and you end up going to prison, and you could be current on your child support. What happens is that the state considers going to prison as willful unemployment. So your child support continues to accrue while you're still incarcerated, even though you have really no way of earning an income. So you could come out of prison with upwards of $26,000 in debt that you owe to the state. And so that is an insurmountable hurdle for someone who's trying to get their life back on track. But we in Tennessee consider that as a condition, as one of the legal financial obligations that you have to pay, in addition to any court costs, fines, fees, restitution that you might owe. So we are working to try to get those legal financial obligations removed, especially the child support, from the process. What happened was in 2006, the state, what they did was they passed a law that tied child support to voting rights, because they wanted to ensure that parents were paying the child support. So they said, well, let's tie it to voting rights as an incentive to make you pay that child support. Well, what happened was, as we know, laws have unintended consequences. And one of the unintended consequences was it didn't make people pay their child support. It actually made more arrearages happen. So it increased by 82% since 2006. So it actually didn't help. So what we're trying to do is tell the state, like, okay, nice try, but you need to go ahead and remove those fines and fees and child support requirements. The other thing that you need to know about restoring voting rights in Tennessee, it is super difficult. Like, people give up before they even try. There are over 421,000 people who are eligible to get their voting rights back, who've completed their sentence in Tennessee. And since 1990, only about 11,000 people have successfully gotten their voting rights back. That's how difficult it is, because of all of the bureaucratic red tape and hurdles that they put in front of you to do it. So what that process kind of looks like is, number one, you have to have completed your sentence. You can't be on probation or parole in order to get your rights back. And then you have to go through this certificate of restoration process, where you have to take a piece of paper to a judge or to a parole officer, the Tennessee Department of Corrections, to have them certify that you've completed your sentence. And then you take that piece of paper to, say, the criminal court clerk's office, depending on where your felony offense was occur, whether it's in Davidson County or another county or even out of state, you got to take that to make sure that you don't owe any fines or fees. That's the biggest hurdle for people. They stop right there because a lot of people owe that child support and they can't get over that hurdle to pay all of that back at once. But if you don't and you're able to pay, then you can pay that through the clerk's office, and then the clerk will certify that you are completed all of that. Then you take that certification of restoration to the election commission to say, I've completed my sentence, I want to get my rights back. And then you fill out a paper voter registration form like anyone normally would. And then they're going to verify that with the TDOC. And then they'll say, okay, you can get your rights back. And they're going to send you a voter registration card in the mail. That sounds like a simple process, but mind you, none of these agencies talk to each other. They don't work in coordination with each other. So you're constantly like running around the city, getting the runaround to get your rights back. So it could be a cumbersome process that people just give up. And we don't want people to give up, but as the Equity Alliance, we're here to try to walk people through that process. And we have an election coming up, not only in August, but in November 3rd, that is super important. We don't want to leave anyone behind. We need every vote to count, every vote to matter, because this is just too important.
And yes, Charlene, you are so right about a lot of what you shared today. There's so many people that it's hard the way that some of our structures of our criminal justice system are. But one thing we're trying to do is bring people on, to help. And so I'm very thankful for you and Equity Alliance, who's going to be part of the follow-up team for the Music Community Court. We know that we can't do things alone, that we've got to be able to have partnerships and bridge the gap, fix the gap. And I really appreciate the work that you're doing to help people get their driver's license restored, help people get their voters' rights restored, and just get, their rights, their basic human rights. And so without you and without your team, I know that it makes it even harder when you don't have people to refer people to. So we're so excited to have you on today. I know that you are busy handling all the things that you're doing for Juneteenth. And so we're very thankful for your being on today.
Thank you. If anyone is interested in getting their rights restored, not just today, but any day, they can reach out to us at theequityalliance.org. Once outside opens back up, we'd love to continue the partnership to make sure we're hosting voting rights clinics across the state to get people's rights restored. Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, thank you for being on today. We really appreciate you. I know that you've been busy, so keep up the good work. And I know you'll be on with us next weekend to talk about the follow-up. And so we want to be very, we're going to be specific about what it looks like, the partnership with the Music Community Court and Equity Alliance. So thank you, Charlene. I really appreciate you being on today.
Thank you for what you're doing. God bless you.
God bless you too.
All right.
So guys, we're so excited. We've got so many people on today. You see that we have so many attorneys that are here. I have been calling my mentee. I think that she may be on or be here today. So we're gonna see if we can bring her on. Kojo Courtney Johnson. I'm gonna see if we can bring her on. I'm not sure if she's here or not. But if everybody can still mute their phone, I think there's a person that we need to go on and mute their information. I think it's Attorney Mary Beard. If you'll mute your computer, that'd be great. But until I see if Tremaine is here or not, we will go on with our presentation. And so there's so much stuff that we would like to show and share with you on today. We do want to check in with Attorney John Baxter, and we're going to see if we have any information going on with Facebook Live. If you have any questions, if there's anybody, I think everybody needs to mute. Oh, there we go. Kojo is here. Okay. Well, we're going to ask John Baxter here in a minute, but I'm going to go. Kojo, I've been on her since she was 17 years old. She is a artists as well. So we wanted to bring on some entertainment so that you, you know, we have a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of information, a little bit of video. So I'm going to bring Kojo, I'll call her Kojo, on. So thank you for being here today. I was trying to figure out which one you were on the screen, but thank you. Thank you. Last minute, everybody knows I'll ask you something last minute, but thank you for being here today.
No, thank you, Judge Bell, for having me here. Such an honor to always witness the work of what you're doing in the community and be a part of it, whether I'm volunteering or like today, bringing some songs. I chose to do a song today by one of my favorite artists, if that's all right. And yeah, thank you for having me. Can she hear me? She's not responding.
We can hear you. We can hear you just fine. Yep, we can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. So this is for all the Jill Scott fans. Come on. Can you hear it all right? Hey, hey, I'm putting it on the chain, putting it on my chain. I'm wearing it around my neck. I'm taking my freedom. I'm putting it in my car. Wherever I choose to go, it'll take me far. I'm living my life like it's going easy. Living my life like it's going easy. Living my life like it's going easy. Listen. I'm taking my freedom. I'm putting it in my song, yeah. Singing loud and strong. Living all day long. I'm taking my freedom. I'm putting it in my song, yeah. Singing loud and strong. Moving all day long. I'm taking my freedom. Hope is proud of me. Living my life like it's good easy. Taking my freedom. Can't take it from me. See, I was born in good. It comes naturally today. I'm struggling my own freedom. I'm playing the God in me. Representing his glory. Hope he's proud of me. Hope he's proud of me. Living my life like it's good. Living my life. That was going, y'all. Just a little bit of it. I just wanted to one sample, a little piece of a new song I have coming out, a sneak peek preview, especially right here, Music City Court, if that's all right. Yes. This one's got, oh, y'all. Ain't no way. You're the apple of my eye, sweet as something high. I just wanna spend my life in you. You're where home is. I know just where your heart is. You don't have to worry. We can tell a story. It's been a journey that speaks to my soul. Our love speaks to my soul. Every day, every way. Our love speaks to my soul. Speak to my soul. Speak to my soul. Speak to my soul. Speak to my soul. right, y'all. We can't get the song all the way away, but thank y'all so much for allowing me to preview it to you. So if y'all love it and liking it, come on, let me know. Thank you all again for being a part of this very special event that's so important for our community on today.
Thank you, Kojo. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming in and helping us out. We really appreciate it. So now we're going to go back to our attorney view, and we're going to see what's going on in the life of our team. So the attorneys, you know, this event cannot be done well without the group of people that come together to help us on an everyday basis. And so we really, 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 really do appreciate y'all coming on. And so I want to now talk to attorney John Baxter. He has been with us for, I would say, since 2016. And so for 4 years, he has come to every clinic. He has been to every last one. He's been featured in books and magazines and everything. I was like, hey, did you see you were in the in one of the magazines from one of the organizations? And he's like, oh, I need to get that. So I sent that to him. But you know, I just want to tell him thank you for always being one of our lead attorneys. He's also going to be on our board of directors, which we're excited about that, and helping us with a number of things so that we can continue to move the needle for marginalized people. So John, tell us how it's going today, or just give us some insight of how things have been going over the last 4 years and your partnership with us.
Yep, great. Thank you, Judge Bell. I appreciate the kind introduction. I mean, I only do this for the publicity. That's the only reason I've been involved. No, kidding. But as Judge Bell said, I've been doing this for the past few years. I got involved when I got out of law school. When I was at UT, I helped start their expungement clinic there and sort of got really involved with this process then. And when I got out of school, I do civil bankruptcy during the day, but I wanted to make sure that that part of my legal practice remained, and was fortunate enough to see in a daily Tennessee Bar Association blast that Judge Bell was hosting this clinic. And showed up and have just kept coming, and she hasn't kicked me out yet. And so I've been gracious and happy to be involved in this process over the past 4 years, and to see it grow and just see it change. It's been truly amazing. And I must say that 3 years ago at the Juneteenth event was the first time that I had ever heard of Juneteenth. And I'm so excited and happy to see that this year especially, that this day, this celebration is really getting the national recognition that it deserves, and more people like me who were ignorant of this day and what it represents and what it means to so many people are now able to understand and see just how important this is, and that these issues are important and prevalent and need to be addressed. Today has been great. I've spoken with 4 people thus far. I've got 1 more to call. We've been able to help some, unfortunately, and not been able to help others. The expungement process itself is just, it's all statutory, so we can do what we can do within what the legislature lets us. I have been excited to see over the years that I've been doing expungement, both in law school and here, that for a lot of the ways that this state does not help people who need help, expungement has been an area that the state legislature has actually been expanding, which is great. 2010, no convictions could be expunged. 2012, they allowed for 1. 2017, they upped that to 2. And so I think this is somehow an issue that both sides of the aisle are seeing is holding people back. And that's something great that when people from both sides of the political spectrum can reach across the aisle and see that we do not need to be hindering the residents of this state based on actions that they've taken 10, 15 years ago. That is something that gives me hope for the future. And so that's really why I've been involved in this, because it's a real simple way to help people in the community and give them some hope and some options that they wouldn't have otherwise. Because so many people don't realize that charges stay on your record forever, even if they're dismissed, until you get them expunged. And so many people that I've talked to at these clinics are like, look, I thought that was taken care of years ago because it was dismissed. So you think it's dismissed, it's gone. But employers, they don't look at the disposition on the criminal history. They look at the charges. And so they see that you've got 5 charges, even if they're all dismissed, they're going to view you differently than if you've gotten those dismissed charges expunged. So that's been the motivating factor for me doing this. And I've just been so grateful to Judge Bell for hosting this and for growing it the way she has. It's just been truly amazing to watch, and I'm just privileged to be a part of it. So thank you, Judge Bell.
Well, thank you, John. You know, your partnership really, you know, is exactly what pro bono service is. And so having people that are willing to step out and work in different areas of the law, even if it's not the area that you work in, so that you can continue to help people is where it is. You know, everybody has a role. If we all do our part, then we can help. You know, we're supposed to be helping others with our skill sets and with the abilities that we have. And so I really appreciate you. Every time I ask him to do something, he's like, yep, I'll be there. I got you. So thank you, John. You really, really mean a lot to this court, and I really do appreciate your service and your efforts. So I've got another employee that I'm going to bring on the spotlight. His name is Andrew Dick. And so I didn't tell them the order in which they'd be coming on, but I told them I would just kind of stream them in here and there. He is our data analyst. And so, you know, all of this work cannot be done without the support of my staff. And so I really, really appreciate the team that I have, that I've hired, and they're doing their part, because without them doing their part, then I can't do what I can do. And so, you know, I do get a lot of credit for the work that we do, but without my team, this would not be possible. And so I want to now bring on Andrew Dick. He is my judicial court officer, but he is also our data analyst. So he does our research and our data. So Andrew, how are you doing today? How's it going?
All right. It's going well.
Okay, so you're keeping up with some of the statistics, or checking in with how many lawyers and how many people we've been able to help and how many people we're not able to help. And sometimes some people register and they don't show up, or we can't get a phone call, but we'll reach out to them with a follow-up. So tell us what you do with the Mississippi Community Court.
Well, a whole lot of stuff, but the data analyst part is just keeping how many participants, how many people come, have the vendors and all of that, keep track of. We get surveys from people at the expungement clinics, you know, where they live, what their needs are. So I'm gathering all of that so we can better help the community going forward. You know, they tell us what they need, I put all that together, what those needs are, and then we can reach out to the people that provide those services and bring them to the table. There's that. Also put together flyers and whatnot to help get the word out as well. So we've got a lot going on with the expungement clinics and the agency dockets and the new care court, and so keeping track of all of that so we can better serve the community going forward.
Well, thank you, Andrew. I did put him on the spot, so he didn't have time to kind of make it happen. But it looks like Attorney Devin, she's willing to take some more participants right now. And so she works with the Legal Aid Society, and Attorney Devin Wilson, I'll be bringing you on later in the afternoon. So if you'll get prepared, and maybe in the next 15-20 minutes, I'd like to hear from you as well. But I want to now thank you, Andrew. I really appreciate you for sharing what you do in the life of the court. And thank you for your help. Thank you for your work. I really, really, really do appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now I'd like to share with you a video that Village Church put together. We aired this earlier this week. And when we showed this earlier this week, we were able to let you know what it normally would look like if we didn't have to do it via virtual on today. So please indulge and please enjoy.
Although Juneteenth is a holiday often overlooked by many communities,
The village church had been in the habit of celebrating the occasion for several years with cookouts and field days, taking advantage of the opportunity to bring families together to commemorate freedom. And while those activities were an essential part of the village's unique experience, in 2016 they decided to apply the principles of Juneteenth to an even higher purpose, the Juneteenth Freedom Fair.
My pastor is the Reverend Dr. Judy Cummings of New Covenant Christian Church. And so we'd had conversations in the past about this expungement clinic that she would do with her congregation, had done maybe once or twice before with Judge Rachel Bell, who was a member of her congregation. And she was like, I think that would be something really cool for your congregation to do as well. And so as I thought about this expungement clinic, and then I thought about Juneteenth being a time of celebrating freedom, for me, it became an opportunity for us as the Village Church to create a space for true freedom, because none of us are free until all of us are free. And understanding that the prison industrial complex is created as another form of enslavement.
The prison industrial complex and the justice system and that sort of thing, those are very much vestiges of enslavement. And so if the essence of Juneteenth really represents the hope of Black people, to truly be free, then ways of, then to do expungements on people's records is also a form of freedom. It's a way that kind of allows people to move on well beyond the time that they committed whatever crime it was or whatever was on their record, but it gives them the ability to move forward.
Learning the fact of not just getting expungements, just having your record, having your record cleared, but the reasons why your record needs to be cleared: housing, food, jobs.
My one biggest takeaway from the Juneteenth Freedom Fair is that we ain't free. What are the things that we are sort of enslaved to, whether or not it's the system or whatever it is, not being able to get a job after you've been incarcerated or have a felony on your record.
When it comes to those that have records, their access to housing, their access to student loans, their access to jobs, their access to being able to vote is greatly diminished and becomes almost impossible because of this record. Even if they have served their time and paid their debt to society, there's still this on their record. So what we wanted to do was bring in Judge Rachel Bell in order to do that part as far as expungements. That also meant that Howard Gentry comes in as the county clerk in order to then move that paperwork in order around in order for those to come through. But it also meant bringing in job resources and other resources that would then help people be able to then access that which they no longer had access to. And so for me, it was about spreading freedom.
We are a staffing company. We help you find jobs. My goal is to connect you with work.
25 employers down there. Two or three of them hiring on the spot. You got to be there.
We've got free resume help, computer classes. We also have books that are specifically available for people who are learning to read.
One thing that I really love is that when people come in to get their records expunged, they look like me. They look like you. They're people that are even professionals that come in and they're like, I just have this one thing, sis, that's just hanging over my head and I need to get it expunged so that I can move on even in my career. Or I got caught up in my 20s and I'm 45 and this one thing is still holding against me. So that to me is not freedom. That is not justice. That is not liberty for all. And so I definitely feel like that is the most important and powerful part about the Juneteenth Freedom Fair.
The Juneteenth event at the Village Church, the record expungement, it kind of gave me a different perspective. It made me, for me, it was more so like, wow, these are real people. Like at some point, people with a record
whatever, ex-felons, criminals, whatever you want to call them, at some point they become a number. Like, it's the people over there that's kind of in their own, they need help, but I don't necessarily know them, or I got my one cousin here or whatever. But it gave people it put a face with a name, and you definitely get in situations, and sometimes a lot of times it's petty stuff, but it carries and it changes your life, and you're just kind of in this stuck mode. So to be able to see how many people are truly helped from that event each year, that changed my mind.
In order to get your record expunged, you have to go back to the place where it happened. And that oftentimes we don't live where it happens, or we've moved and different things like that. So seeing people come back to the place, or seeing people come expecting one thing but realizing, oh, no, you got to, that's a state charge, that's a federal charge, or this and that. And so being able to best serve people and give them the information necessary to remove shackles from their lives.
I would say the most memorable experience from it was our first year, and that's when we had a ton of people because we didn't know how to operate right, so we was there all day. But there was a guy who drove from Ohio. He had relocated to Ohio, and his record, he had something on his record for about 10, 15 years that he needed to expunge. Wanted to do some things in Ohio, like work and live. And he was so grateful that he was able to get his record taken care of. So I would just see the impact of not only just in the Middle Tennessee area, but just think about the fact that the people who have a record in Davidson County, they might not live in Davidson County anymore. They might live in another state or another part of this, another part of this state, and how it's still affecting them no matter how long ago it was.
The biggest takeaway for me was just extreme gratitude. I noticed the relief that people felt just by having it done. It just made me extremely grateful because, like I said, it could have easily been me. I'm not on the planning committee. I'm more of a doer, so I'm the greeter, water passer outer, director, sit here, smiler type thing, server of food, but still just really excited to be a part of it and to witness what the Village Church is doing in addition to the courts.
I didn't know of any other place, any other organization, or who to approach to start that conversation to help those individuals out. So just seeing it and learning that here is an example of in this community, working with Judge Bell, like that was just amazing.
That's the thing that has always stood out for me, is just like, wow, like this is a perfect application to what Juneteenth really was about.
So, as we at the Village Church Nashville continue our tradition of honoring the spirit of Juneteenth with the Freedom Fair, we encourage each and every one of you to join us in extending liberty to our brothers and sisters, because none of us are truly free until we are all free.
So we're so excited to share that video with you. It's true. None of us are free till we're all free. You know, in 1863, there was the Emancipation Proclamation that was signed by President Abraham Lincoln. And it was to free slaves in their surrounding states that weren't still fighting in the Civil War. And then you have 2 years later that the Civil War ends in April of 1865 for those other surrounding states that still had slaves in the South. And, you know, there was 2 months and 2 years, it seems like, that it took for our ancestors and people to know that they were fully free. And so I know that we celebrate July 4th as Independence Day. And a lot of us, you know, enjoy celebrating July 4th as Independence Day. But when the whole country was free and all humans that live here in America were free, that wasn't until 1865. And that's why Juneteenth, June 19th, is so important to all of us here in America. And so I am happy that the world and the country is giving us that platform now to share and to understand more about our history and why, you know, if there are still some enslaved people, they're not independent. if there's still some people that are marginalized, they're not free. And if there's still some people that have criminal backgrounds and have criminal records, they're not free. And so the Restore program that we're doing today is so important. And then the follow-up is so important. So in the Life of the Court, we're doing everything we can to move the needle for marginalized people. But I'd like to now bring on Attorney Mary Beard. She's the president of the Napier-Luby Bar Association. I've known her since I was in law school when she was corporate counsel at FedEx. And so I'm a little whippersnapper lawyer back then, trying to figure everything out. And I'm inspired as a Black young lawyer that I see corporate counsel at FedEx, an African-American powerhouse individual that is working there. And so, you know, when you're young and you're trying to figure out what you want to do and what you can do, it's always good to be inspired by seeing somebody that looks like you and somebody that'll talk to you and somebody that'll share with you. And so she didn't know I was gonna say all this, but I look up to her and I think she's a great person. And so I'd like to turn it over to you and let you share some words on respect of your leadership with the Napier-Luby Bar and anything else you'd like to share at this time.
You are too kind, Judge Bell. It is my indeed pleasure and professional honor to be here with you today. This is my first time participating in this clinic, and I can just say that my heart has been elated. The individuals that I spoke to, the hope that they had in their hearts for people to help them on today with their personal issues. I'm just so glad to be here. Juneteenth is very special to me personally, as my grandmother was honored in Kansas City, Missouri, years ago when I was a little girl for her work and service in the greater Kansas City, Missouri area. That was the first time I learned about Juneteenth. They had a large parade. She received an honor from the city, from the mayor in Kansas City. And my grandmother taught me that my life should be a life of service. She was not surprised when I became a lawyer. She was not surprised when I told her I was in so many service organizations because that's what she instilled in me, as well as my parents. My parents are definitely ones that work with each voter, sign up for voting, voter registration. They're very active in their community. They took us with them to different voter registration groups. They've always been active in the community to help those who needed our help. I was very privileged that I came from a household of two very educated parents, and most of my childhood I grew up in Ripley, Tennessee, a very small city in West Tennessee. And many of the people there had heard about this clinic through me because I was not knowledgeable that it was just in Davidson County. And they have asked me, Mary, what can you do to help us here? Because so many of them have criminal records. It has affected their lives. And as the video stated, it was things that they did when they were young, might not have the best wisdom that they should have. And so, Judge Bell, I'm gonna take the challenge that I'm going to speak with you and see what I can do in my home, my second home. Kansas City, Missouri is my first home, but my second home was Ripley, Tennessee, and what I can do to help the people there restore their rights, restore, have an expungement clinic there and see what we can do. I'm just so thankful today for all of the attorneys, again, for helping with this clinic. Thankful for with Howard Gentry, with the Equity Alliance, for all the organizations that spoke today that are helping these individuals with something that is very needed, that they need to be free. They need to be free of anything that is holding them back from having to enjoy the fullness of the American dream. And I thank you for this opportunity to speak. And we hope that this is something that we can partner with Napier-Luby for years to come.
Thank you, Attorney Beard. Your leadership is very important and near and dear to me personally, but also as a member of Napier Luby and a fellow of the foundation. I'm glad when we are able to partner together. Napier Luby has partnered with us on multiple occasions, and so I'm thankful that you're here today. So thank you so much. I know you got a few more people to call. Looks like we've got some more assignments, so my staff will be assigning some more participants and some of the attorneys, so we really do appreciate you.
Yeah, I just want to correct for the world. I am a lawyer here in Nashville now with ACA. So I am so glad to be here in Nashville.
Well, thank you. Welcome back to, well, not back, but welcome to Nashville, Tennessee at ACA. We really do appreciate you there and appreciate your leadership as well. So thank you so much. All right, so we're going to mute you back, Attorney Beard, and we're going to see, there's some other information that I'd like to share with you guys. I know that we've got about 30 more minutes for the expungement clinic today. And so there's some attorneys. If you look in the chat box, there are some more participants that we are trying to assign to you. If there's anything that you want to share, we can do so. And so I see Attorney Anthony Atawani on here, or he was on here a little earlier. I'm not sure if he's still on. I did tell the attorneys if they were done and they needed to go, that was fine. So I wanted to bring him on. But if he comes back, then we'll bring him on. If not, then we completely understand, and we will bring somebody else on. But I do want to hear from one of the attorneys to kind of let us know what's going on. Chris Bellamy, maybe we can chime him in after we show this video and see if he'd be willing to share. I wanted to get, the perspective from a number of different people. So Attorney Chris Bellamy, after this video, if you'd be willing to share some of your insight of how today's going, I'd really appreciate it. So now I'm going to show a video, and we are going to show you what it looks like in the life of the court. So we've got our cleanups that we do. It's a community service Saturday return docket. And when we do the community service Saturday return docket, people are able to come right on the spot and do their cleanup for 4 or 5 hours. When they get done, we are able to go on and dismiss their case. We're also able to expunge their record and go on and get them in the queue to get their driver's license restored, their voter's rights restored, which is what we call the follow-up. So this is a video. You'll see my name adopted a few places around Bordeaux, North Nashville. This is one of the cleanups where it looks like how much trash that we pick up in just a 2 or 4 hour span. And we are also partnering with the Bordeaux North Chamber of Commerce to do some of our cleanups as well. So I want to show you this video so you can kind of see what's going on in the life of our court. Well, today we're having community court. We're not doing the expungement clinic today, but today we're doing a community service project. There are individuals that need community service 4 hours, 2 hours, 6 hours. And it's good also, kids sometimes need to do community service work for the Tennessee Promise program. Also with in school to show, it's good on their resume as well. So today we've got several volunteers from all walks of life. Some people that have court-ordered community service that they volunteered to come work at the community court today. We have some people that are here from the courts that are volunteering and helping from the probation department. I have my staff is here. I'm here. Some other sororities, fraternities, some people from churches are here. And it's really a really good time. All of us look the same. We all have on a shirt and a vest. So you can't really tell the difference of who's here for whatever reason why, but we're all working together to keep a community clean. Okay, looked like there was a little technical difficulties, and so I'm going to try to do that again. So bear with me. Well, today we're having community court. We're not doing the expungement clinic today, but today we're doing a community service project. There are individuals that need community service 4 hours, 2 hours, 6 hours. And it's good. Also, kids sometimes need to do community service work for the Tennessee Promise program. Also, with their school to show, you know, it's good on their resume as well. So today, we've got several volunteers from all walks of life. Some people that have court-ordered community service that they volunteered to come work with the community court today. We have some people that are here from the courts that are volunteering and helping from the probation department. I have my staff is here. I'm here for the sororities, fraternities. Some people from churches are here. And it's really a really good time. All of us look the same. We all have on a shirt and a vest. So you can't really tell the difference of who's here for whatever reason why, but we're all working together to keep a community clean. Saturday community service return docket. So people don't have to come back to court once they show proof that they've done the community service work. So today we had court. We did 4 hours of cleanup, and then when we got done, we took a picture, and then everybody gone about their business. So their cases were being able to be dismissed. Some of their cases weren't even being processed yet because they were going through the steer and clear process. So they didn't have to get books. They didn't have to plead guilty. They just had to commit to taking a class or doing some community service work. So we had a partnership with them. The sheriff's office was here. They let us use their inmate bus to transport people. The mayor's office let us use their van as well. Metro Nashville Police Department let us use the space today here at the Northwest Precinct. The Arnett Voting Hammer Building. My staff is here. So we've got a few people here. Jackie London, who's with probation, and Andrew Dick, who's our judicial court officer and data analyst. So he's going to collect all the data and make sure everything looks good. But we cleaned up the Welcome to Bordeaux sign, painted the Martin Luther King Bridge, cleaned up all around in this North Nashville area, some of Metro Center, and on up in Bordeaux. And I think it was a really good turnout, really good day. We had about 78 people that showed up today, along with Steer and Clear and Maria Toro and Donnie and her team. So we're really looks like there was some technical difficulty. It got stuck on us, so I'm not sure. We'll try to go back to that in a minute. But Attorney Bellamy, I'm going to bring you on, see if you want to give us some remarks today. Really appreciate you volunteering to help us on today. So if you'll unmute yourself, then I'll try to see if I can get that video to play. Looks like it got stuck on us. Great. Attorney Bellamy, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Judge Bell. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking this on the spot. But like to thank you for volunteering, giving your pro bono service. So tell us how the clinic is going today and whatever you'd like to share.
So, I mean, I think it's going great. This is operating kind of like a well-oiled machine here, having participated in a number of traditional clinics where you're in person. this sort of virtual format actually works pretty good so far. So I think you may have set the standard for the future. I like the fact that I can do research and really dig into some issues, Google something if I'm not sure, while still engaging with the client and not feeling like I'm not giving them the attention that they deserve. So great job to you and your staff on this format.
Well, thank you. I really do appreciate that. Just wanted to hear from a number of different attorneys here today. So we're so excited to have you here. So I'll let you get back to doing your research and working with your clients. So thank you. We can't do the work without the pro bono attorney. So we really appreciate your you being here today and you volunteering your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So now I'm going to go to one of my other staff members, Krista Abernathy. She is trying to work behind the scenes today, and she's connecting different attorneys to participants and checking to see what we need to do to try to get the participants to answer the phone, or trying to get the attorneys to more participants if they are in need. And so Ms. Abernathy, we're going to bring you on. She is my administrative assistant, and also she helps diligently with the DC Community Court. So she may be on the phone with somebody, I'm not sure. But Ms. Abernathy, we're going to unmute you and see if you want to share with us how it's going today. So you got to unmute yourself.
Hey,
all right,
sorry.
there you go.
I was connecting attorneys. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a call right back. Okay, so I help get attorneys together and connect them with participants. And this is just a great thing that's happening today. So sorry you caught me off guard a little bit because I was in the middle of helping. Yeah.
Well, we really do appreciate your work. So I know that she's in the chat box assigning attorneys to participants. Sorry to get you midstream, but I wanted to make sure that we gave you a chance to share today. So I wanted the team and the people to see all of the work, the people that are doing behind the scenes. So thank you for being here today and connecting the attorneys. And I know you'll let us know hopefully in the next 15 minutes if we're done.
Yeah, we're almost there.
We're almost done. Okay, so we're gonna try to get done on time at 12:30. If we can get done a little earlier, that'd be great too. But if there's more participants that need to be connected to attorneys, I know you'll let us know.
Okay.
Thank
you guys.
Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna try this video one more time. I may need to get my assistant, who's my paralegal this week, my wife, Dr. Dorsha James. She's been helping me get it all together. But let me see if I can make it work this time. I'm gonna try. Because I'm really excited about these videos. So we're going to see what we're able to do. Well, today we're having community court. We're not doing the expungement clinic today, but today we're doing a community service project. There are individuals that need community service 4 hours, 2 hours, 6 hours. And it's good also kids sometimes need to do community service work for the Tennessee Promise program. Also with this school to show, you know, it's good on their resume as well. So today we've got several volunteers from all walks of life. Some people that have court-ordered community service that they volunteered to come work with the community court today. We have some people that are here from the courts that are volunteering and helping from the probation department. I have my staff is here. I'm here. Some other sororities, fraternities, some people from churches are here. And it's really a really good time. All of us look the same. We all have on the shirt and the vest. So you can't really tell the difference of who's here for whatever reason why, but that we're all working together to keep a community clean. Saturday community service return docket. So people don't have to come back to court once they show proof that they've done the community service work. So today we had court. We did 4 hours of cleanup, and then when we got done, we took a picture, and then everybody's gone about their business. So their cases were being able to be dismissed. Some of their cases weren't even being processed yet because they were going through the steer and clear process. So they didn't have to get books. They didn't have to plead guilty. They just had to commit to taking a class or doing some community service work. So we had a partnership with them. The sheriff's office was here. They let us use their inmate bus to transport people. The mayor's office let us use their van as well. Metro Nashville Police Department let us use this space today here at the North Police Precinct, the Arnett Voting Hammer Building. My staff is here. We've got a few people here. Jackie London, who's with probation, and Andrew Dick, who's our judicial court officer and data analyst. So he's going to collect all the data and make sure everything looks good. But we cleaned up the Welcome to Bordeaux sign, painted the Martin Luther King Bridge, cleaned up all around in this North Nashville area, some of Metro Center, and on up in Bordeaux. And I think it was a really good turnout, really good day. We had about 78 people that showed up today, along with Steer and Clear and Maria Toro and Donnie and her team. So we're really excited about having them here. So it was a good day. There are times when we have the Saturday community service return docket, as well as the expungement clinic resource fair and the NC docket. At the Magruder Center, we're really excited that we will have our own designated space. And in having that designated space, we will be able to have all of our resources and all of our programs all in one building. So we have our courtroom there. We're able to use the auditorium and also the services that are in the Magruder Center. There'll be some videos that you may see that will have a number of people. One docket, we had up to 300 people that were there for the expungement clinic, the community service Saturday return docket, as well as the NC docket and the resource fair. So we're really happy about all the programs and the services that we can do to help with people and restoring their lives, and also giving them access to the resources that they may need to help lift themselves up, and move them forward in their careers and in their opportunities for life. All right, so that video finally did show. Sorry for the glitch that we had earlier. But we're so excited. Still, we see the attorneys are still calling. They're still getting through, talking to participants. I know that this is a lot of work, and I really do appreciate the lawyers for taking off their time today. They've been on with us for 3 hours today. They were on with us earlier this week, registering, watching the webinar, and just helping us try to figure out how exactly we were going to make this expungement clinic go and how we're going to make this work. So I don't know if Devin Wilson is available right now. She may be meeting with a participant or not, but she's with the Legal Aid Society. She works with the reentry work. And so I'd like to bring her on. She's one of our follow-up partners, and we're really excited about partnering with her, with Darkenya Wilder and the Legal Aid Society. But Devin is our main lawyer that's part of our follow-up team. So I'm going to unmute Devin, and we'll bring you on. We'll be more than happy to have you share with us today.
Judge, I'm super excited to have the LAS reentry program participate. I said this earlier, but we love the Music City Community Court expungement clinics. We love the work that we do. I'm specifically the reentry attorney for, I think we cover 48 counties, and we're hoping to recreate what we do here with the Music City Community Court in all of our other counties. I've spoken with 5 people today, and I've had a lot of really good cases. I had an individual who's 23 years old, and I think his entire record is eligible to be expunged. He was very excited about that. He just assumed something couldn't come off. I had 2 individuals who are going to be eligible to have their voting rights restored immediately. They both assumed that they were just never going to be able to vote again because of the felonies on their records. I've had one individual who didn't realize he could get his driver's license back as easily as he could. He just didn't know how to navigate the system. And it's just it's small things like this, small actions like this. These things are not small, but these small actions that are helping individuals find better housing, find better employment. There's so many different things that these attorneys today are accomplishing. I love reentry work, and I love seeing 40, 50, 60 attorneys taking time on their Saturday off to assist individuals in the Nashville community. We're super excited to be participating. We'll be participating in Care Court coming up here soon, which we are super excited to finally get to start. We thought we were going to get to in February, but it's not our timing, I guess. So we're very excited to participate, and we love anything the Music City Community Court does, we're here for. So.
Well, thank you, Devin. I really do appreciate you. I called her last night and I was like, hey, can I spotlight some information, about what y'all are doing? And she was like, awesome. And so I just really appreciate that you always answer the call. Legal Aid Society is one of the main organizations that we work with, and we're so excited about our partnership. So thank you, Devin. Appreciate that. All right, so now we're going to show a little bit more about the court. We have so much, like I said, that is going on in the life of the court that we're excited about. And so Devin just talked about the care court. But before we show you the care court, I do want to show you a video of 13th. And so a lot of this came about because of the 13th Amendment. And a few years ago, we did a panel discussion. We brought on some power hitters to talk to us about the 13th Amendment. But I want to share that now, and then I'll talk to you about the care court here shortly.
Welcome everybody here to the John Siegenthaler Center. John Siegenthaler will be so proud today to have a program that talks about civil justice and equality. Judge Rachel Bell is a judge here in Nashville. She's a great judge, very active in the community, does a lot of great community service work. And I'm very proud also to mention my wife, Carla Hudson, my better half. This event was her brainchild, and the two of them worked closely together on this. And I'm just so happy that everyone can come see this. You're getting ready to watch, and some of you may have already seen it, an award-winning documentary produced in 2016 titled 13. We usually laud the 13th Amendment, rightfully, right, because it outlawed slavery and involuntary servitude. But there is a clause in the 13th Amendment that says except for criminal conduct, essentially except for criminal punishment. And unfortunately, we do have a phenomenon that has often been referred to as mass incarceration.
So take a break. In 15 minutes, the reception will start to 3:30. Then we'll have you come back in. The food is right outside. Mix and mingle, network, and we'll see you back here at 3:30. I'm going to read the 13th Amendment. That is what we're here to talk about today, and also to understand what we can do here in Davidson County dealing with our criminal justice system. The 13th Amendment to the Constitution declared that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, that is punishment for crime, whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted, shall exist with the United States or any place subject to the jurisdiction. Formally abolishing slavery in the United States, the 13th Amendment was passed by the Congress on January 31st, 1865, and ratified by the states December 6, 1865. Why was the documentary important? The movie that we just saw, 13th. And what did you learn from the documentary that you didn't consider before?
I think that while I may not agree with every point that was made, it certainly brought home the effects of mass incarceration and of the politics of race in our country.
You know, I think when we reflect on our criminal justice system, there are so many things that, you know, it's a monstrous system. It's monstrous in so many different ways.
As Glenn said, it's hard to have these conversations, but these are necessary conversations if we are going to move forward in this country.
The movie starts off with slavery as the origin of mass incarceration. Do you agree with this assessment?
You know, if we think about slavery, you know, we can imagine it as the incarceration of, you know, at the time of emancipation, some 4 million people. You know, if we think about emancipation, this is the moment when the state really aggressively moves in to take the place of the master.
This is a question for the panel, and we'll start with Dr. Cockrell. We'll go first. What steps do you think we can take, especially maybe here in Davidson County or in the state of Tennessee or the country at large, to reduce mass incarceration?
Looking at issues, particularly with kids of color. I mean, when you look at that 18% of the national population of pre-K students are African Americans. However, out of that 18% on an annual basis, 48% are suspended at least twice a year.
When I think about what we can do to stop mass incarceration, I look at this little boy that's sitting back here, and I think about the prisons that are being built right now to contain him. I think about our education system and how it is failing our children.
When I think of mass incarceration, I think of the current problem we have, right? Millions of people incarcerated or under some kind of state control. That's something we have already done. And that is a problem that is going to take a very long time to fix, but we're also still lumping more and more people into this problem, perpetuating the system for no particularly good reason. Some states are reducing their incarcerated population. Tennessee, by and large, is not on a state level.
I think about, as a city, our poverty rate, how high it is, and knowing how that feeds into folks getting into the system. I think about, again, going back to this whole issue of racism. I look at how many who are incarcerated are people of color. Just being Black, you might end up incarcerated. Driving while Black, walking while Black, you could end up incarcerated.
For some reason, we always seem to have money for more prison bars, more law enforcement, and we never have money for the services that we need to keep people out in the first place and keep them from returning again once they get out. And that's something that we just have to change if this is going to be meaningful.
Thank you. For today, it's the first time that we did a panel discussion, bringing in a community dialogue where we can bring some prominent people. We have the district attorney here,
We had the juvenile court judge here, the public defender was here, myself, general sessions court judge, community activist Carla Hudson, which is one of my partners getting this program together, Dr. Ruben Cochran, Reverend Dr. Judy Cummings, who's my pastor, but one of the churches that's committed to Faith and Justice Alliance. So I'm very proud to have those people, prominent people here, and a lot of people from the community at large, a lot of professors, doctors, pastors, lay persons were here, really, really trying to have more of an understanding of a dialogue of the criminal justice system and what justice really is. This will be a conversation that we're going to continue. This will be ongoing, but we're going to put action behind the conversation. So I'm looking forward to putting some things in motion. The best is yet to come, and I'm just looking forward to it.
So again, that was a video that we put together about 3 years ago, and so I'm so excited that the best is yet to come. And so the expungement clinics are growing. The community court itself is growing. We've got our designated space now at the Magruder Center that I'm going to show you. We're so excited about the care court, which is creating avenues for restoration and empowerment for ages 18 to 30. We'll be launching the care LGBT court. We'll be launching the housing courts. I mean, we have so many things that we're doing, but I'm so excited that God is allowing us to add to our staff and add to our team. And so I want to bring on Mariam Abdallah. She is our social work coordinator and case manager for the Music City Community Court. Without her work and what she's doing, we can't connect the people to the resources. And so everything that my team does works in tandem. And so Tamara works to get the outreach team together and all the resources. Andrew is helping us collect the data. Krista is helping us connect people to each other. And then Mariam is the arm of our body that can actually work with the people, because she isn't fully restricted from the judicial canons where she can't talk to the participants on every given day. So she's a case manager as well. So I'm very thankful to have her on today. And so Mariam, I'm gonna unmute you and bring you on. So share with us how it's going today and what your role is with the community court.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Judge Bell said, my name is Mariam Abdallah, and I'm the social work coordinator / case manager for the Care Diversionary Court. And so my main role as the social work coordinator and case manager is to provide resources, tools, information by doing assessments with participants that want to come into the program, and basically empowering them to then move away from this situation that they may have gotten themselves into and move into a better place that is healthier and productive for them, as well as for the community that they live in. And so I am grateful to be a part of this team. I'm grateful to be a part of this work that is very much needed. I think today is awesome, seeing the work being done by the attorneys and Judge Bell, our team as the Music City Community Court. I think the most important thing during, especially this weekend, during the Juneteenth weekend, is about liberation. So again, about liberating yourselves, becoming independent, and empowering yourselves to be able to be healthy and whole as a citizen and as community. So I'm grateful for this work. Today, I've enjoyed hopefully being able to share resources and information and tools via Facebook as participants have shared information. I've tried to connect that website or that information for the viewers to be able to follow up with and do some work or contact those individuals and providers on their own. So I think it's been awesome today.
Well, thank you so much, Mariam. I'm glad that you are on our team. You know, you can't do the work without connecting people to the services. And so restoration is not just what we're doing today, giving them information and helping to restore their lives, but it's so much, it's so important that we are able to connect them to the resources and move the needle. I know I keep saying it, but move the needle for marginalized people. I'm I'm an old school person, and so I have vinyls. I have a vinyl player, and in college I love DJing, so I got a few skills. I love karaoke. I love singing. I learned how to play the piano growing up. I'm learning to play the guitar now. But anyway, moving the needle means to put, to me, the record on the record player and move the needle to the right song. Sometimes you can't just play, the full vinyl. You've got to move the needle to the right song. And so that's why I kind of came up with the move the needle for the marginalized people. I know that is also a terminology that the country is using as well, but it really resonated to me because you need to be specific about the work that you're doing. It can't just be general. I'm just going to play a record. I'm just going to play a song. And that's why the Music City Community Court logo that you see, the guitar, the strings are on the outside of the logo, because it's not just one person that's playing the song. The strings outside the guitar mean it's community, and the gavel's at the top, which means I am listening to the community, even though I may have the guitar, but the guitar strings are me listening to the community, me listening to my team, and all of us working together to make sure that we can play a good song. So I'm so excited. I'm always excited. I think many people know that's my word. I say, hey guys, I say I'm excited, but you've got to not get weary in well doing and find a way to continue to do the work. So I'm going to check in with my team. I want to see how we're doing. I'm looking in this chat box. The attorneys are still working. I am wanting to see how we're doing. A lot of the time at the expungement clinic, right at the end, we'll take a picture. So I'm going to be taking some screenshots here of the, so look cute. If you're not on anymore, come back on so we can take some pictures, so we can document this historic day. I know that we normally take a group picture at the end, but we're going to do a virtual expungement clinic picture. So I'm about to do a screenshot right now. So everybody smile, look cute. All right, now I'm going to go to the next one, and we're going to do the same thing. So if you're not on, if you want to get back on to be documented in this historic opportunity, smile, and we'll take a picture. All right, y'all look beautiful. Y'all look handsome out there. So now I'm gonna go into, like I said, I'm gonna talk to you about the care court. So, the follow-up again is gonna happen next weekend, is the follow-up and restoration of rights. It is Saturday, June 27th, 2020 at 10 o'clock. So I know that if you go on my Facebook page, I am coming live often to give you information, but normally I'd be at a church, or I'd be at a community center, or I'd be somewhere sharing this information with you. But because we're having to social distance and make sure that we're being respectful of each other, I'm trying to do everything that we can virtually to bring information to the masses. So we have a new space called the Bordeaux North Community Justice Center. And so as I said, you'll see the guitar with the strings on the outside. But this logo is very important to me too. You see that Bordeaux and North, so you have this pick that's going north. But do you realize that this pick right here is to play this guitar? So Bordeaux or North is our space that we're going to use, but this pick is used to play this guitar, or to play what's needed from the community. So I try to make sure all the logos make sense and they have some kind of meaning. My partner with that is David Walker with Realistic Design. I do have a graphic art degree from college, from the University of Memphis. I got it back in 1999. However, I know how to still do a few things. But we're focused on Bordeaux North Nashville as our pilot. We are going to be working to move the needle in this community because, it is the highest area of incarceration. It's a very marginalized community. And Robert Sherrill and I grew up in this community. I grew up in the Bordeaux side. He grew up in the North Nashville side. But Bordeaux and North Nashville butt each other. And so I'm really strategic in calling this Bordeaux North, because without Bordeaux, North Nashville and what it needs won't get the services. And without North Nashville connecting to Bordeaux in this space, we won't get the services that we need. So this is the door of our community courtroom over at the Magruder Center. We're in room number 23. This was our picture of our soft launch. So we were so excited to have the AOC there. You see Ann Louise and Kimmy DeMint, who was with the Tennessee Supreme Court Access to Justice Commission. Some of the attorneys that are on with us today are in this picture. Our presiding judge, Linda Jones, some council members as well. So we had a good day on that day. It looks totally different now. It's built out. So this week we'll be talking more about the Magruder Center and our partnerships. And so here I'm talking with Rashida Fatuga, who is with Gideon's Army. And so we're excited about that partnership as well. So there's so much that we have in store moving forward. And so I'm going to check in with the attorneys, and we're going to see how we're doing. I believe that hopefully we are almost done, if not done. And so I'm going to check in with our administrative assistant, or with Tamara Givens, and we'll see how are we looking. So Tamara or Krista, I don't know which one of y'all want to unmute yourself, but tell us how are we looking with this exposure clinic. Are we almost done?
Hi, Judge Bell. According to our side of the house, I think we're done. We're just waiting for the attorneys to notify us that they've completed all their calls. Every participant was reassigned. Those attorneys did correspond with us and let us know that they were reaching out to them. And we've begun our checklist with those attorneys that have concluded their call. So we're just waiting on the last, I think it was maybe about 7 or 8 more to alert us in terms of their status.
All right. Well, I do appreciate that. So thank you for letting us know. I do see Attorney Anthony. He finally made it back. I think he got off the screen for a minute. But Anthony, earlier I was going to bring you on. I know that you've worked with the exposure clinic. I think you were in law school when you first started. You had more hair. But I want to bring you on, and maybe you have something that you'd like to share. So thank you for coming to assist us. What's going on with you these days?
Things are good. Just staying in with COVID-19, but yeah, I did do explaining. I was a law student and kept it going. I think it's a great opportunity to help people. I spoke to one person today who answered, and he was just really surprised that Tennessee had expungement laws, and that certain things could be expunged for free if they were dismissed. So I think knowledge is power, and I really respect what you do with this exposure clinic, because it does allow us to educate the community and help a lot of people. So I love it.
Well, thank you, Anthony. I really appreciate you coming on with us today and sharing some of your expertise. And yes, he's been with us since law school. So thank you for continuing to move the needle, and thank you for continuing to volunteer. So I'm going to mute you, and we're going to see if there is anything else. We're going to give the attorneys a few more minutes to work with our team. I do have Attorney Laura Baker. If she's not talking to anybody, she is the president for the Nashville Bar Association. Love to bring her on to make some remarks. Attorney Baker, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Laura Baker, and I am the president of the Nashville Bar Association, and we have been so honored today to be part of this clinic, and thank you, Judge Bell, for allowing us to be part of the clinic. During 2020, we have increased our focus at the Bar Association on pro bono, particularly following the tornadoes and with all of the issues that have come up for vulnerable people and our community members surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic. And then in honor of Juneteenth, this has been the perfect opportunity for our members to give back and to restore rights. So thank you for letting us be part of it.
As well for participating with us and helping us move the needle for marginalized people. We can't do this work without the partnership with the bar associations. I'm a member of the Nashville Bar and the Nashville Bar Foundation, so very happy about the work that we've been doing over the course of at least my time being a judge. But I really am glad to have the Nashville Bar. Y'all bring a lot to the judges, and you bring a lot to the lawyers, and so it's nice to have a collegial team of people. So thank you for being on today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge Bell.
You're welcome. All right, so earlier we had a hand, and I'm not sure, it says Z981. If you could go into the chat function and let us know what your question is, we would be more than happy to bring you on. I'm gonna go back until the attorneys let us know that we're done. I would suggest now, if you are done and you're an attorney, if you're done, you can go on and black your screen, and then we'll know that you are done. And then we can kind of see who's left. So today was an awesome day. And my staff, you can keep your screen on, because then I'll know how much more work we have to do. So it looks like we've got just a couple of attorneys that are still on. I heard that one individual on our team, or one of our participants, wasn't able to she wasn't able to take a block number. But the good thing about her not being able to take a block number is that the Legal Aid Society said they'll call them on Monday. And so that's why this partnership is so important. People that can bring expert and expertise to the table is very, very helpful to help us move the needle for marginalized people. So I know that's my thing, move the needle for marginalized people, but I always say ring the bell for justice. So if you want to hashtag this later, our hashtag is ring the bell for justice, because justice does not stop at the courthouse steps. So I'm gonna see if I can play the Juneteenth video again. I think it's important for us to see that video as we pan out. Looks like we've got a few more lawyers that need to finish up. I'm gonna wait to hear from my team in the chat function. They're gonna let us know if we're done. I'm scrolling through and it looks like our attorneys are done with their work today and helping our staff, helping our team. And so I am now going to see if we can go and play the Juneteenth video. I think that would be a good opportunity for us to do that. Let's see if I can get that up and playing. Again, my wife, she may be my technical assistant, but we're gonna see. I think I got it. I think I can do it.
See the video's logo right here? Well, instead of that, you just drop in your own logo. It used to be that if you wanted this level.
Juneteenth is more than just another date on the calendar, especially to Black Americans. Juneteenth, 1865, or Juneteenth, represents something momentous.
What Juneteenth represents is sort of a period that's put in the end of the slavery.
That's Frank Smith. He's the founding director of the African American Civil War Memorial and Museum in Washington, D.C.
But this is a major, major thing on the part of the United States. For the first time now, it's abolishing slavery. 3.9 million Blacks are freed.
So how did Juneteenth come to be? Well, on January 1st, 1863, as America was in the midst of a civil war in which slavery was a major factor in the conflict, then President Abraham Lincoln issued an executive order called the Emancipation Proclamation. The proclamation declared that
all persons. Okay, looks like I may need some technical assistance again from my wife. So she's gonna come over here and help me show this video. I thought we had it earlier. So we're gonna see. That's not it.
Juneteenth is more than just another. Juneteenth is more than just another date on the calendar, especially to Black Americans. June 19th, 1865, or Juneteenth, represents something momentous.
What Juneteenth represents is sort of a period that's put in the end of the slavery.
That's Frank Smith. He's the founding director of the African American Civil War Memorial and Museum in Washington, D.C.
But this is a major, major thing on the part of the United States. For the first time now, it's abolishing slavery. 3.9 million Blacks are freed.
So how did Juneteenth come to be? Well, on January 1st, 1863, as America was in the midst of a civil war in which slavery was a major factor in the conflict, then President Abraham Lincoln issued an executive order called the Emancipation Proclamation. The proclamation declared that
all persons held as slaves within said designated states and parts of states are henceforward and forever shall be free.
However, it had its limitations, including the fact that it only applied to states that had seceded, leaving slavery unchanged in border states. But the promise of freedom for Black slaves, it came with a price.
Came with a provision that you had to join the army and help the Union win the war. Otherwise, the thing would have had no effect at all.
That meant, for the first time since 1792, Black soldiers could fight for the U.S. Army.
So they had to prove to themselves, but they also had to prove to the rest of America that freedom was important enough to them, so they were willing to risk their lives and to take up, as Denzel Washington says in the movie Glory, to catch a bullet just like everybody else for freedom.
The Civil War continued until April of 1865, when the South surrendered to the North. But during the war, and especially after the war, there were a lot of slaves that didn't know about the proclamation or their freedom. One of those places was in Texas. Then, on June 19th, 1865, more than a month after the Civil War ended, and 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas to inform Black slaves that
the people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, that's the proclamation, all slaves are free. This involves absolute equality of personal rights.
And although slavery was officially abolished in the U.S. on December 6, 1865, June 19th, or Juneteenth, symbolizes the beginning of liberation.
All right, well, it looks like we are about done. So I want to tell everybody thank you for watching our show today. Thank you for being with us today. Today I think it was pulled off pretty well. God was in it and it worked out. So thank you to my wife for her technical assistance. You have to have a good partner. And so I have a good partner in crime. I love it. I have a great team of a team. So thank you, Mariam. Thank you, Krista. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for all the people watching today. Thank you for all of you watching on Facebook. To my understanding, we will have this on Channel 3 later today for Metro Nashville if you want to see it on Channel 3. If there's some other TV shows that you want to watch, I don't know if you want to watch this one. We were trying to make it not as boring. So thank you to our panelists. Thank you to our attorneys. Thank you to Pastor Kelly X, who continued to work with us to bring this expungement clinic, with her still being the host and getting us some live video footage for Juneteenth. Thank you also to Howard Gentry. Everybody, please keep him in your prayers. Please continue to know that his team is doing the work that is very much necessary and needed for this community. I'm so happy that I can tell people to go there Monday through Friday from 8 to 2:30 to get their record expunged. I'm also happy for our partnership, but right now I'm asking him, and you continue to tell him too, for him to stay at home, to rest, and to get himself back together, because we need him to help us to continue to move the needle for marginalized people. I'd like to thank Stevon Hunter for coming on and playing A Change Is Gonna Come all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. I'd like to thank Tremaine Artemis, who sang Lift Every Voice for us. It's a Black national anthem. Thank you for that. And I also like to thank Kojo. Like I said, I've been knowing her since she was 17. She's a mentee of mine. But thank you for coming on last minute and singing Jill Scott, and then debuting one of your songs as well. And so I'm just very thankful for today. It's been a lot of work behind the scenes. As many of you know, you can't produce or do anything like this without the help of a lot of people. So Chris Wolf, he worked with us with our website to make sure all the buttons worked, to make sure the registrations came in. And so it's a collaborative effort, and we cannot do this without the support of the people that are with us. And I know Joy Radis is watching us in Knoxville, so thank you for being here today. Kimmy DeMint with the ALC, Tennessee Supreme Court, she's been watching today. Sylvia Rappaport, who's part of our follow-up team that we're going to be working with Congressman Jim Cooper, that you'll know more about next Saturday. So a flyer will be getting done and produced on Monday, but stay tuned. The best is yet to come, and we will see you next Saturday at 10 o'clock. We look forward to giving you more information about the follow-up. I think we may have a couple of questions in the chat, and I would like to see what those are. Somebody asked, how can we sign up and get help trying to get their expungements done? So honestly, like I said, Monday through Friday, you can contact Howard Gentry's office, and the number there is 862-5601, 501, and you can call them and see, you know, what's on your record. You also can go on the website, which is ccc.nashville.gov. And if you go to that website, you can type in, you go to case search, you can type in your name, put your date of birth, and it'll let you know what your record is and what can be expunged. But I also would like to give you the number for the Legal Aid Society. The Legal Aid Society will be taking phone calls starting next week. And the number to reach the Legal Aid Society is 780-7120. Again, that is 780-7120. We will post a recap of today's show on our Facebook page, as well as we'll push that out so that you can have that information. But I'm so excited. You know, that's my word. I'm very excited. But y'all enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your time with your family. Thank you to my team. Thank you to the attorneys. Thank you for everybody who was viewing with us today. I believe that we're going to sign off now, unless there's anything else. If you'll put it in the chat, if you'll let me know, then we will try to do that. So is there anything else in the chat that anybody has? I think we have another hand. So I'm not sure. Maybe I can allow them to talk. We'll see what the question is that we have from one of the people that are watching as an attendee. Yes, ma'am. What's your question? Or sir?
I was wrongfully convicted, and when I did talk to an attorney, he was talking about partnership, getting that done. So how do I start on asking for partnership?
Okay, that was really good. Thank you for asking that question. That's why we had Robert Sherrill on earlier, and that's why we had Equity Alliance on as well. So the follow-up will be this Saturday coming up, and we will be giving you information and tools to let us know about how you want to go and start that pardon process. There are a number of individuals that do have to go through the pardon process because you do have a criminal record that cannot be expunged. So if you will check in with us next week and watch the follow-up, which will be next Saturday, we can get you in our queue to go on to get restored. We will have a website link that will be that you can click that will help you if you're trying to get those rights restored, because in getting a pardon, that will help you hopefully get your voters' rights restored and some of the other rights that you are wanting, full restoration of your rights. So if you'll look in to see next Saturday, it's called the follow-up, and we'll be posting different information on my Facebook page. You can go to Judge Rachel Bell's Facebook page, or you can go to General Sessions Music City Community Court's Facebook page. We will be posting that information in the coming weeks. Thank you for that question, because we get a lot of people asking, well, what are the next steps if I can't get my record expunged? And so we're working to put those tools in place and getting those experts as part of our team. So thank you for asking that question. And that is what our next stage is, the follow-up. So we really, really thank you for that. So if there's nothing else, Andrew, are we done with everything? No questions or comments? Tamara, are we done with everything? Mariam, are we done with everything? All right, and Krista, is Krista still on, or is Krista off? Okay, so she's probably working with some attorneys. Oh, we're good? Okay, so my team has assured me that we have met with all the participants. The attorneys have checked with everybody. We're making sure the attorneys let us know who they met with today so we can do the follow-up. So we will sign off. So thank you guys for working with us today. We're really excited. This made history. So we'll see what this looks like 20 years from now in the record books of how we had to move the needle for marginalized people in 2020. So again, thank you again. Well, not good night, but good afternoon.